Yo, 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 yo. We back, we back. We trying to go live since 3:30. So the Ravens and cut Justin Tucker. Got my man Tuck out of there. Right, what it is. What it is. Hold on, ready to get the fuck off. I've been trying to go live all day, y'all. Like 7 hours ago, 8 hours ago. How niggas feel? How niggas feel about Ravens cutting Justin Tucker, man? For the Ravens fans, my Baltimoreans, 2,800. Brand name, what it is? What's up, Scott? Fuck y'all been at, man? With YouTube, what's in y'all notifications? Y'all know how times it got sporadic. We got Diddy trial going on. Yo, but let me say something, right? When I get back, when I get stationary, gotta say something, yo. And I think everybody that follow the channel, they already know what it is. Yo, but I be running across some wild people on Instagram, man. This, right? I only care about, for the most part, anybody outside of black people that grow up and go through the struggle like how we go through. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, yo. If they not in our community and going through the same hardships that we go through, yo, I don't think we on the same side, for real. So let me tell y'all what happened today, right? And most people that follow me, y'all already know that, yo. Like, I'm on some American black shit. You know what I mean? I'm not Dr. Umar Johnson. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not Dr. Umar Johnson, y'all. On that all black nations and all black Africans. No, this ain't that. This ain't never been that. I ain't gonna say ain't never been that, yo, because I think when I was younger, I used to believe that shit too. But as I got older, I realized, man, we in this shit by ourselves. Like, we ain't got no motherfucking allies in this bitch. We ain't got no motherfucking country fronting our move. That shit dead. So let me tell y'all what happened today. We try to get stationary for real. We try to get in the office. Tell y'all what the fuck happened. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna get in the office. I'm gonna do it right here. So the nigga, I'm gonna show y'all actually on my computer. Turn my Wi-Fi on. So I can show y'all what the fuck happened. Man, see the Queens, New York. I don't know what's going on with Justin Tucker. I know the Ravens got rid of him. They said it was about football reasons, but I doubt it. What I think happened with Justin Tucker is the Ravens finished their investigation and they realized that he must have did some shit that, you know, he probably denied. So they got rid of his ass. About time for him to go. He gonna land another gig somewhere. Somebody gonna pick him up. I don't think he's going to jail. You know, they civil suits. Yeah, they civil suits. So let me tell y'all what happened today, right? Why is he to the top? Fuck happened today, man. The fuck they only trying to Wi-Fi on this bitch sometimes. Should be done working for the night. Theo, what it is. Let me show y'all what happened, right? So, I was on Instagram. Show how this all played out. Turn my hotspot on. Gotta turn my Wi-Fi off. What about the Giants, y'all? You said Giants to take them? Oh my gosh. Come on, Theo. Y'all, I thought you was solid D, man. You coming here on bullshit, man. What you talking about, nigga? Alright, but let me show y'all what happened. Before I get to the Diddy shit and all that, right? So, y'all familiar with the dude JT Bigger Figures? You know, I don't give a fuck about none of these niggas for real, to be honest. But let me tell y'all what happened. So, JT the Bigger Figures, I think that's how you say his name. JT Bigger Figures or the Bigger Figures. I don't know. Whatever it is Bigger Figures. So all day today, these motherfuckers been inboxing me about this shit right here. Not this. Fuck that shit up. Alright, right there. So you'll post this right here, right? Jay-Z visited South African children and Jay-Z visited South Africa and children showed him the 6 miles they walk every day to get water for their families. Jay-Z responded by spending millions to build a pipeline and well, which now supplies 3 different villages. So I say, yo, yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit, y'all. Like, to be honest, like to be totally honest, why these guys get money and then take that shit over to Africa? Meanwhile, it's cities in America struggling. Yo, them African nations don't do shit for Americans. A lot of them motherfuckers come over here and shit on us. So look, right? So all day today, I've been going back and forth with these niggas. Talking about, yo, you ignorant, something, this, that, the third. I'm like, yo, name a time. Name, in the last 20 years, have these motherfuckers came out and spoke on any of the injustices that's going on in our community? Like, why do we feel the need to go over there? Yo, a nigga even got my inbox and say, yo, niggas, this the motherland, niggas want to go back to Africa. Go back to Africa and do what? Yo, we are totally disconnected from Africa. Yo, if you are American black, and you've been over this bitch since the motherfucking slavery. 9 times out of 10, yo, you don't have zero connection to Africa, yo. Yo, if you was to talk to some of these guys, and it's not everybody, like I said, for the ones that grow up in our communities and go through with the same shit that we go through, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about for the ones that come over here to this country and frown their nose upon us. But, yet and still, we go over that bitch and spend billions and millions and build railroads and do this and do that. Meanwhile, Africa's being sold out by its own people. Yo, there is no excuse for Africa or certain countries in Africa to be as impoverished as it is. No excuse. The whole world pillaged from Africa. And the reason why they pillaged from Africa is because the leadership in Africa allows it. They allow it. So my thing, right? Yo, we got some fucked up cities in America, yo. What's up, Siobhan? So I got into it with the JT Bigger Figure nigga, cause he say that. So he say, that's what he say. Alright. Shit. Alright. So he said, the day I saw this, I knew I had to go put my own money up for Africa to build water wells. 10 years later, God blessed me to build 3 water wells in East and West Africa. Did a small part salute to hold for that inspiration to do something for our people. Like, yo, our people, like, yo, what do you mean, our people? Like, yo, what? Like, yo, niggas still believe that? Like, yo, they sold us that dream in school, yo. At this age that we're at now, yo, do people still believe that? Like, yo, do people still believe that Africa gives a fuck about black Americans? Like, yo, I just don't remember a time, yo, where they came to our defense. Like, yo, as big as Africa is and all the continents over there, and how we have been getting treated over here in this country for decades. Yo, when has Africa ever came to black Americans' defense and say, yo, enough is enough. We don't like how you treating our people. So why the fuck do we think that, yo, we should go over there and intervene in anything they got going on? Like, yo, I don't know, y'all. I'm just different. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that shit is foolish. For real. Considering what the fuck we got going on over here. They don't give a fuck about us, man. For real, and that's what I'm saying, Jay. See, when you was young and they sold us this, you ain't know no better. But once you get older, you get experiencing, you're like, oh, them niggas don't fuck with us. Not all. You know, I always gotta make sure I say that because people take shit personally. Not all. But it's enough to say, yo, fuck you too. You know what I mean? It's enough for them over there that come over here and look at us like we less than them, for us to say, well, fuck y'all niggas too. The fuck, if y'all figure that shit out. Just like we had to figure this shit out over here, y'all figure that shit out over there. We don't have no allies, or we don't have no teammates. And niggas got mad at me, because I'm like, damn, bro. I say, yo, what about American cities and urban hoods? Why they don't help? Why they don't help them this way? Why niggas ain't build no motherfucking water line for Flint? You know what I mean? Niggas bought them bottled waters and Gatorades and gallons of water. Why nigga ain't built no whole water line? The city of Flint, Detroit, the state of Detroit fucking up. Yo, we gonna build a water line for Flint, and we gonna make sure y'all get clean water. Yo, Flint water was fucked up for about 7 years. Yo, them motherfuckers go ahead and become correctional officers, police officers. They come over here and continue the oppression of black Americans. I don't give a fuck what's going on over there. Like, just like I don't care what's going on in Palestine or none of that shit. I'm not gonna care what's going on until them countries start caring what's going on in our neighborhoods. Straight up and down. When they start caring what's going on in Baltimore, when they start caring what's going on in New Orleans, when they start caring what's going on in Memphis, when they start caring what's going on in our neighborhoods, then I will start caring about what's going on in there. Until then, y'all stay over there, I'ma stay over here. And that's just how I rock, yo. And I don't think I'm wrong for that. I think that makes perfect sense. The fuck we keep running over there trying to save Africa, and Africa ain't trying to save us. The fuck, man, man, niggas is crazy. And niggas be so dumb. What pisses me off is the people in the comments that be saluting that dumb ass shit. Like, yo, what the fuck is you doing, bro? Like, you spending money over there? Ain't you from Oakland or something? Oakland fucked up. The fuck, man, even if you doing for Oakland, do some more before you do fame. Like, yo, you gotta clean your house before you can clean up anybody else's, man. Our house fucked up. We been mistreated daily out this bitch. All the fucked up shit I seen in the neighborhoods and in these cities. And niggas get money and take it to Africa. It's like, man, you niggas is stupid. Support that dumb ass shit. That pissed me off, yo. Exactly, bro. Like, they don't fuck with us. Yo, just think of all the mistreatment that we have suffered over here. Yo, when has Africa jumped in the way and made a real difference? Like, yo, fuck that, yo. I'm tired of how you treating black Americans over there in America, y'all. I'm tired of how you treating African Americans. Hey, man, yo, we are Americans to them. We ain't even, yo, we don't have no connection to Africa, yo. That shit, whatever connection we had to Africa, yo, was snapped 100 years ago. 100 plus. Probably longer than that. Probably 300 years ago. 400 years ago. You really had people in the comments like trying to act like I ain't know what I was talking about when you niggas is the dumb ones. You know what I mean? They're like, they over that bitch coming at me. When you niggas is supporting, you niggas is acting like he did something honorable. Nigga, fuck that shit. You could have kept that shit. That's some shit you do on the low. You shouldn't even want niggas. That's really like a slap in the face to black Americans. Whenever a motherfucker go over to Africa and do something, he's saying, fuck you niggas. That's really what's going on. The fuck you mean? That's like a slap in the face, nigga. You should have kept that shit to yourself, nigga. Anybody trying to hear that dumb ass shit, nigga? All this fucked up shit going on over here. I just say something where a dude caught. Listen to this. Listen to this right here. This gonna fuck y'all head up. While I go punch out. Look at this shit. It's gonna fuck your head up right here. Hope I saved it. Look at this story right here. Look at this story. This gonna fuck y'all up right here. Y'all familiar with this story right here? Check this out. Niggas talking about Africa.
And Vincent Simmons has been sent for 43 years in prison as an innocent man. After spending 44 years wrongfully in prison, a man has finally won back his freedom. But the women who put him there show absolutely no remorse. Back in 1977, Vincent Simmons was just taking a walk through a park when police arrested him out of nowhere. He was taken, along with 6 other men, for a lineup. Simmons was the only one in handcuffs, and tragically, he was the one the girls picked. Turns out, two 14-year-old white twins, Karen and Sharon Sanders, had claimed that 2 weeks earlier, a black man had assaulted them on a remote back road. They said they met a black man at a bar while hanging out with their cousin, Keith Laborde, and offered him a ride. They claimed that after getting into the car, the man pulled a knife, forced them into the trunk, and then attacked them. When police asked the twins to describe the man's appearance, they couldn't give any real details. Instead, they said, all black men look the same. Simmons was dragged into an interrogation room where he was brutally assaulted. Still in handcuffs, he was shoved to the ground and kicked in the head by detectives. When he tried to stand up, Deputy Robert Laborde shot him in the chest, missing his heart by just inches. No fingerprints, no DNA, and despite Simmons having an alibi backed by multiple witnesses, he was still found guilty. The jury dismissed all of his witnesses just because they had minor infractions like littering, parking tickets, or disorderly conduct. In the end, Simmons was sentenced to 100 years in prison with no chance of parole. While locked up, Simmons never stopped fighting to prove his innocence. Starting in 1977, he filed motion after motion asking to see evidence related to his case, but every request was denied. It wasn't until 1993, 16 years later, that he finally got copies of the hidden documents. Those files revealed shocking facts. Medical reports showed Sharon Sanders' hymen was intact, and neither of the twins had any bruises or signs of physical assault. Real story? The twins lied, trying to cover up inappropriate behavior with their cousin. Finally, in 2022, at 70 years old, Vincent Simmons walked free. No apology, no compensation. Only his lawyer, Justin Bonus, gripping his hand and telling him,
"You're free, man. You're free, brother. You're free. You're done."
Meanwhile, the people responsible for stealing nearly half a century of his life said,
we still have our anxiety, we still have our depressions, we still have our fears.
A 25-year-old man lost 44 years of his life because of a stranger's lie. Should the cops, the judge, the jury, and those twin sisters be held accountable for ruining his life? Tell us what you think in the comments.
Not guilty of
And Vincent Simmons has been sent for 43 years in prison as an innocent man.
After spending 44 years wrongfully in prison, a man has finally won back his freedom. But the women who put him there show absolutely no remorse. Back in 1977, Vincent Simmons was just taking a walk through a park when police arrested him out of nowhere. He was taken, along with 6 other men, for a lineup. Simmons was the only one in handcuffs, and tragically, he was the one the girls picked. Turns out, two 14-year-old white twins, Karen and Sharon Sanders, had claimed that 2 weeks earlier, a black man had assaulted them on a remote back road. They said they met a black man at a bar while hanging out with their cousin, Keith Laborde, and offered him a ride. They claimed that after getting into the car, the man pulled a knife, forced them into the trunk, and then attacked them. When police asked the twins to describe the man's appearance, they couldn't give any real details. Instead, they said, all black. Simmons was dragged into an interrogation room where he was brutally assaulted. Still in handcuffs, he was shoved to the ground and kicked in the head by detectives. When he tried to stand up, Deputy Robert Laborde shot him in the chest, missing his heart by just inches. At trial, despite there being no fingerprints, no DNA, and despite Simmons having an alibi backed by multiple witnesses, he was still found guilty. The jury dismissed all of his witnesses just because they had minor infractions like littering, parking tickets, or disorderly conduct. In the end, Simmons was sentenced to 100 years in prison with no chance of parole. While locked up, Simmons never stopped fighting to prove his innocence. Starting in 1977, he filed motion after motion asking to see evidence related to his case, but every request was denied. It wasn't until 1993, 16 years later, that he finally got copies of the hidden documents. Those files revealed shocking facts. Medical reports showed Sharon Sanders' hymen was intact, and neither of the twins had any bruises or signs of physical assault. Real story? The twins lied, trying to cover up inappropriate behavior with their cousin. Finally, in 2022, at 70 years old, Vincent Simmons walked free. No apology, no compensation. Only his lawyer, Justin Bonus, gripping his hand and telling him,
You're free, man. You're free, brother. You're free. You're done.
Meanwhile, the people responsible for stealing nearly half a century of his life said,
We still have our anxiety, we still have our depressions, we still have our fears.
A 25-year-old man lost 44 years of his life because of a stranger's lie. Should the cops, the judge, the jury, and those twin sisters be held accountable for ruining?
Man, get where the fuck was Where the fuck was Africa? Where the fuck was Africa when that shit was going on? Like, yo, I don't know, y'all. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like, we got a lot of bullshit that be going on over here in this motherfucking country, and we stand alone. Yeah, everybody got their own fight, yo. Everybody got their own struggle, man. But it's like, yo, they want us to just jump on everybody else's bandwagon. Meanwhile, we still got shit that need to be fixed. Let's fix our shit first. Start jumping over there in the other countries and being sold a lie. This motherfucking all black nation shit. When all black nations don't stand with black Americans. That's my take on that shit. Like, niggas can miss me with that dumb ass shit. They tricked us with that shit in school. But once you get older, you supposed to know better. So if you know better, you do better. Niggas don't give a fuck about what's going on over here, man. And niggas want praise. Niggas want praise for going over there. Or niggas out there praising a nigga for going over there and doing something for Africa. Man, fuck out of here, man. They're the ones that sold us out originally. Shit. Africa been selling its people out since the beginning of fucking time. But you got dumb black Americans running over that bitch to see today. Man, niggas is crazy. I keep it in the news. Yeah, my stance consistent, yo. I told you. That once a motherfucker show you fuck you, then it's fuck them forever. Ain't no coming back. Ain't no motherfucking I need to coming back. I need to sweep this motherfucking car. Yeah, yo. Once they show you fuck you, yo, it's fuck you forever, yo. People don't give a fuck about what's going on over here, man. We got issues over this motherfucker too that need to be addressed. Yeah, y'all should have seen these people. Yo, wait till I get to the house and I'll show y'all some of these messages. Niggas is mad at me because I'm for calling out the obvious. Yeah, man. Like y'all should be saying the same thing I'm saying. Y'all over this bitch supporting this sucker shit. Y'all over this motherfucker supporting this sucker shit for real. I gotta fill out this paperwork, y'all. My fucking papers got wet. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't wrong, yo, cause they try to make it seem like I was wrong. I'm tripping. I'm ignorant. I'm like, nah, you niggas is ignorant. That's why we always getting sold out. As long as we keep supporting fuck shit and can't see through the smoke and mirrors, we gonna continue being sold out, man. Oh shit, I left that money in the car. Nigga want praise for going over there in Africa and building a water line. Flint water pipe still fucked up. I meant to Google this shit before I went live. What about the lead in Baltimore? Africa ever come to the defense? When niggas in Baltimore in the 90s and shit was eating lead chips and lead paint and motherfuckers was catching lead? I don't think so. What about mass incarceration? You know what I mean? What about mass? Has Africa ever came to the defense of mass incarceration of black Americans? I don't think so either. Not that I remember. If they did, they ain't they ain't make a difference. They ain't stop nothing. Like, I don't know, yo. I just look at shit different. So, yo, people be taking things for what they want it to be instead of what it is. Yo, nigga really got my inbox and said, yo, what you mean? Yo, niggas want to go back to Africa. Nigga, who? And do what? The fuck? Them niggas trying to come over here. The fuck you talking about? Niggas is crazy. I'm like, yo, have you ever talked to any of them? And they told you how they feel about black Americans? I remember a motherfucker told me, they told me, yo, they think we need to get over slavery. That's your exact words. He said, man, they think we need to get over slavery. They don't even know all the bullshit we done endured over here in this country. They generalize it to just slavery. They don't know about redlining and all that shit. They don't care to know. It ain't their struggle. The fuck they gotta know for? You know what I mean? It ain't their struggle. They don't need to know. Yeah, my damn papers got wet. Fucking juice. Fucking smell on the paper. Nothing in here. What's that fucking money in the car? Right, exactly, exactly, Peter. Look, they came over here and participated in mass incarceration. You feel me? They came over this bitch and participated in this shit. And they want motherfuckers to come over there and think we a team. Man, them African COs be the worst COs in the joint. They be the worst ones. But they want us. They want to act like we teams. Niggas only want to be teams when it's beneficial, y'all. Y'all know how that shit go. The Shannon Sharp theory. You know what I mean? They only want to rock with us when it's beneficial. Hold up, y'all. Like, it's a difference if you Akon. You know what I mean? You Akon, you from over that bitch. Do your thing, yo. Cause that's what the fuck we supposed to be doing over here. But you from America, and you over that bitch spending time, energy, money, and resources. Man, you tripping, nigga. You better bring that shit back here where it count. I can't wait till I get some real money. I'm gonna show niggas how it's supposed to be done. When I had little runs and shit when I was making a couple hours, so every time I went to my city, I gave out money. Every time. No matter how much it was. Motherfucker need to washing the windows, might get them $10. Don't even do nothing. Little kids outside, I might get them $5 a piece. Like, I rather get that shit back to the community. That way I know it's touching the community. Like my man said, a lot of that shit to be taxed right off. I get that shit straight to the people. No matter how I get the money. Little kids outside, look, everybody get ice creams. That's how I do it. That's why I know it's touching the people. It ain't going through nobody else's hand. It's going from my hand to the people's. You know what I mean? Might give a motherfucker all the ones I got in my pocket, whatever it is. What's up, Prada? Now, yo, see, yo, the thing about it, yo, it don't be the people. I mean, it be the comments, yo, it be the ignorance. It be the ignorance. And black people in the comments that be pissing me off. Like, you niggas salute anything. Like, shit is not even worthy of being recognized. And you motherfuckers be saying, giving niggas pats on the back for nothing. Fix this fucking lap. Lock fucked up. Alright, we got a nice little ride back before we get back to the computer. I just be tired of ignorance, yo. Yo, we got a large ignorance. We got a large ignorant population, yo. And like I told y'all, the people that's ignorant think they smart. That's the damning thing about the whole situation. The most ignorant people in the community think they the smart ones, but they really the dumb ones. They really the ones being controlled and manipulated. I hope I got my fucking lighter, man. I'm not trying to go back in that car. I don't even got the bitch. Oh yeah. I got it. Man, sweet the motherfucking Texas, man. Part of Texas, you from H-Town? You from H-Town? Dallas? Fort Worth? If you from Fort Worth, man, we got some questions about Go Yayo, man. Fuck us up with Go Yayo out here at Conan. If you from Fort Worth, we got questions about Go Yayo. What the fuck is up with y'all? And why is he allowing these niggas the motherfucker exploit his ass for monetary gain? Crashing him straight out. You heard me. One-way ticket off the cliff. That boy crashing. Yo, hit that like button. Yo, hit that like button. Let's get to 100 likes. Yo, we ain't hit 100 likes in so long. You know they been fucking with us. But we ready to go in. Yo, we ready to talk about Diddy. Justin Tucker done got cut. They done cut Justin Tucker. Damn, Tuck. Yeah, I figured Justin Tucker time with the Ravens is running out. That man missed a lot of field goals last couple years, man. Big ones too. I think we lost a game or two. Fuck around with Tucker and I missed field goals. They say Diddy ain't taking no pleas. I seen something that said he offered Diddy 15 and a half years. Those said fuck no. Did anybody see that? Is that true? Did they offer Diddy 15 and a half years and he turned it down? Man, see the Jacksonville, man. Fucking Jacksonville. Man, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you're new, yo. YouTube must have they must have stopped oppressing the channel for a day or two. Gave it some rhythm. If you're new over here, yo, welcome to the realest. We keep it all the way real. We don't hold no cut cards. And everything is consistent. You know what I mean? Try to be consistent over here, man. We don't do a whole lot of flip-flopping on tapes. Andrews might be gone too, though. I thought Andrews was gonna be gone after the draft. I mean, at draft time. To be honest. I didn't think Andrews was gonna make it past draft day. It's been raining like a motherfucker out here. Romeo, what it is. Oh, yo, but yo pissed me off, though, yo, the JT bigger figure nigga. Yo, what, yo, a rapper or something? Ain't yo, my man say he from Oakland. Like, we used to rap. One of them rapping ass niggas. So a nigga gonna tag me in a video talking about JT be in the hood, where was you? Like, nigga, don't tell me no frivolous ass, no merit having an argument like that, nigga. I was mad as shit. Like, you really thought, like, what was that, bro? Like, you better take that post down, nigga. Tag me in no dumbass shit like that, talking about he was in the hood, where was I, nigga? At work, nigga. That's what you talking about. I don't set no lights on this bitch at nighttime, yo. Like, these niggas be crazy. Man, down the hill. Straight up. Down the hill. I used to be on Preston, Washington. Back by high school years. Alright, like 2001, 2002. Shit like that. Before they built the church. Right there. Yeah, though, y'all. My man Diddy said he ain't taking no pleas. It's like Diddy ain't my bad, y'all. Y'all know why the reason I support Diddy? Like, I know Diddy a wild ass nigga. You feel me? I was telling my man Dave all that shit. Y'all know Diddy is a wild ass nigga, man. Diddy like boys and all that shit. I'm sure he did. But when it comes down to my personal feelings about a person versus the establishment, fuck my personal feelings. I'm anti-establishment all the way. You know what I mean? You talking about the system versus Diddy? The whole system. You know what I mean? You know, they taking down Diddy, yo, because Diddy decided to stand up for himself. So, nigga can't stand up for himself in America. Man, fuck that. I'm against that shit. I'm siding with Diddy. It wasn't never about fan of Diddy. Them niggas couldn't drop shit. I remember that shit. I was like, damn, dude, that's fucked up. But being so I know this prosecution is coming down because of the beef he had with the company, that shit ain't about no motherfucking Cassie. It ain't about no Cassie. All because he helped these people get billions. He turned Ciroc into a $1 billion brand. And all he asked for in return was to get his own company. And they told him, yeah. And then they sabotaged this company. Oh, nah. Fuck that. Nah, man. That's y'all dead wrong for that. I'm siding with Diddy. So people are confused as to why I side with Diddy. If you just came in late, you know what I mean? And you ain't know. That's why I side with Diddy. Diddy tried to fight the system, and the system came down on him. I think we should stand against that. You know what I mean? Put all our shit aside. Did whatever Diddy did, he gonna get his karma. This might be his karma, but nah, fuck no, not by the system. The system giving up the system ain't in a position to give people karma. All the fucked up shit that done to people. You can't be the motherfucking the problem and the problem solver. You know what I mean? That shit don't work. You gotta pick a side. That's what Charles and White be trying to do. He try to be the problem and the problem solver. Nigga, how the fuck you gonna be both, nigga? One going cross out the other. You can't be a motherfucking antagonist on the internet and then be an upstanding citizen in the community. Nigga, fuck no. Hey, who the fuck you think you is? Nigga, we ain't rocking with that. You better pick a fucking struggle. You wanna say fuck this man's daughter or fuck Gilly's son, but then you wanna go to motherfucking and speak at the jails and speak at the schools. Oh, hell no, nigga. We ain't jacking that. We ain't jacking that, bro. That's confusing. We need to know where everybody stand, man. I always say that. We need to know where everybody stand, yo. Like, so we can weed up. That nigga parading like he on Shannon Sharp's side. But meanwhile, distancing himself and distancing Disney from him as well. That man got on Big Boy Radio and said, You know, Shannon was let go. Shannon was let go from FS1. Nigga. Ain't nobody know that. That's not what Shannon told us, y'all. Why you going opposite of what Shannon said? Shannon told us they mutually parted ways, nigga. You get on that bitch and said he got let go. Stephen A. Smith, funny ass nigga. Man, I told y'all, the way them niggas flip flop, that's why we be having so many plants in the community. Whoa, what the fuck was that? That's why we be having so many plants in the community, yo. We let people flip flop. Ain't no flip flopping on KPG News, yo. If you ain't consistent, fuck you. That's why I fuck with every politician, yo. He probably like my favorite YouTube. Cause for one, his message and my message is the same, kind of. You know, he don't dive into like niggas be ratting and shit and the characteristics of a rat. But his message is consistent. Nigga don't flip flop. Like a lot of these niggas just flip flop for views. Like, nah, bro, I can't fuck with you, my nigga. You flip flopping for views. Nigga might not always agree with what I say, yo, but what I say, I mean. I ain't never got on this bitch and just said something just for views. Or just to get people angry, or just to get on somebody's good side. Hell no, everything I say, I firmly believe. If I done said this shit on the internet, I done said this shit in real life to the people that's around me. That's why you don't never hear me copy other people's takes. My man just sent me something where Flacco admitted he be stealing people's takes. I knew he did it. He done did it to me before. See, but a lot of guys, they don't have their own opinions. I mean, they so far outsiders that they can't even formulate an opinion that makes sense. So what they do is they watch other guys that's from the community, that's from the culture, and they design videos around what them people say. That's what they do, y'all. Niggas that watch like 3 videos, 4 videos from niggas from the community, and then formulate their opinion and make a video off of it. I think Stephen A. was jealous of Shannon too. I think he was jealous of, yo, the nigga Stephen A. even said that Shannon Sharp's success on Nightcat and his podcast was partly due to what he got going on at first take. Oh man, dude. Like, was this even the time to say that, bro? Like, even if that's the truth, even if that's how you feel, is that something that you say? You basically said you put the man on, like the man wasn't a Hall of Famer. Like niggas ain't already know who Shannon Sharp was. What made it say he put him on? He ain't put that man on, man. That man worked. That man said, yo, I bought him an ESPN because a lot of people wanted him to be done. Like, yo, what the fuck shit? That's Stephen A. crazy shit. Hey, yo, just think about all this shit Stephen A. Smith said, yo, that video we watched yesterday. Like, yo, that man made some wild statements, yo. Like, yo, did people really need to know that? Like, he made the whole situation about himself and how he helped Shannon. Like, he made it seem like Shannon backstabbed him. Like, that's really what I got from Stephen A. Smith tape. Like, I think he's mad at Shannon because he stuck his neck out there for him, and Shannon backstabbed him. So now he's going on the tour run, basically saying, fuck Shannon Sharp. But I'm in support of him at the same time. Like, it's real confusing. If you don't know nobody, you'll believe him and Shannon Sharp was close friends, and he really doing this with Shannon Sharp best interest at heart. But niggas like Stephen A, nah, all they worried about is the dollar. That man using Shannon Sharp name for views. See me, I've been saying fuck Shannon Sharp for a while. At least a year or two. So I can completely go in on him, and it ain't gonna be wild because I've been saying fuck yo. Right. Especially after they clipped my live that time when I was talking about when I was going in on his ass. We had like 500 people. They tapped my live off. Now YouTube, I guess they're allowing people to talk about him now. YouTube funny as shit. Attention. I'm gonna roll out the motherfucking goddamn road. You said what? It's fucking dark as shit out here, man. Fucking roads be winding and shit. I gotta wait till I get on the straightaway, y'all. If I look at the comments. Yeah, that Cat Williams interview got a lot of people upset with Shannon Sharp. And then the way he constructed his interview. See, this is the thing, yo. When you move that way, it's just a matter of time, yo. Like all them niggas that's moving like that, like Shannon Sharp, platform was messy as a bitch. He had a messy platform. They took all that man advertisements away. All his sponsors. That man, I don't think he got not one sponsor. But people that still got sponsors. Somebody told me they all left. Yeah, I almost rolled out the road. Luckily, it wasn't like no, cause some of these roads out this bitch, nigga, be long ass hills. you go up the raw road out this bitch, you done. You hear me? But somebody told me they took all his sponsors. Yeah, see, you right though. That is how them niggas is. I just can't take myself to do that, yo. Like a lot of these niggas be talking. Like they don't be meaning the shit that they say for real. They be trying to get a rise out of people. I just believe you can't separate content from character. And if you move that way for content, then yo, your character is in question. It gotta be in question. You know, because if your character wasn't in question, your content wouldn't reflect the shit that it reflects. You wouldn't be able to do some of the sucker shit that these guys be doing if your character was intact, if you're still doing morals and principles. If a man of integrity or a woman of integrity, what do you have for the shit that these guys is doing? I wouldn't feel comfortable doing some of the shit these guys is doing. Like how the narrative is they pushing on dirt and shit like that. And these niggas trying to get dirt arrested. Like Trap Lord Ross. That nigga Trap Lord Ross did 75 dirt videos. As soon as a man got booked, that nigga did a video implicating that man in like 5 murders, going through lyrics, basically doing what the feds do. And That nigga Traveler Ross might be the Fed researcher. He might be the head of the YouTube Fed division. Trap Lil Ross. Trap, go through them lyrics, man. Send them to us when you find them. Make a video so we can watch it. Man, image is everything, man. Only thing matter when you die is what they thought of you, man. Jada Kiss said that. That was one of the realest statements he ever made. That's the only thing matters, man. You got motherfucker like Mike Tyson sold out. Let Jake Paul knock his ass out. So Mike Tyson will never be respected again for me. Not knock him out, but you let that boy beat you up, bro. For $1, my nigga. You could let a black man do that if you do that. I guess let Jake Paul do it. I thought that was real goofy of Mike Tyson. I'd never forgive him. All the police too, bro. You like Jake Paul beat you up. And you let him. Like, it ain't like he really beat him. Like, legitimately let that man beat you up, bro. Shit was fucked up. And it went on your record. I could never respect Mike Tyson after that. Everybody just worry about the next bag, man. Get it. Nobody's really worried about the effects this bullshit that they're doing is gonna have. There's gonna be effects. Nobody care though. Yo, when niggas gonna call out Tommy G, yo, for making that Kid Boy shit popular? I'm still waiting on that. Dying and stealing cars and getting killed by police. Nobody gonna call Tommy G out for starting that shit. That's not. He did that shit years ago. Nigga ain't hold his feet to the fire yet. Nigga still doing hood vlogs with that boy. He done got rich off of it. Nobody says nothing. Niggas must have forgot. See, I don't forget. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the problems with the black community, yo. We too forgiving. We allow people to fuck us over and we forgive them. I don't forget shit. Now when it come down to the community, now when it come down to our people, now when it come down to exploitation, I don't forget that shit. I remember that shit forever. Now when they choose sides, now when you got black people that choose corporation over community, I don't never forget that. I make sure I keep a mental note. Tommy G, yo, uploaded a video of some Milwaukee kids stealing kids. And in the video, he showed people how to do it. Y'all don't remember that? He showed people how to do it. He showed people, he didn't do it, but the kid that he was interviewing showed the world how you steal kids with USB cords. And they've been doing it ever since. The kid even faced a lawsuit behind it. Nobody said nothing to Tommy G. Tommy G's supposed to be slapped for that, beat up, thrown in the trash can. Y'all know how many kids died and killed, died in car crashes and shit like that? The little kid that we just covered, Ryan Whitten, he was driving in a Kia. Stolen kid when the police killed him. His family just did a press conference earlier. You know the one who father ran a cop over 24 hours? Less than 24 hours after the police killed his son? His family did an interview. did a press conference. But he was in the kid. The world wouldn't have known about stealing kids with USB cords for Tommy G. How we would have known it? That shit was in Milwaukee only. It had never made it out Milwaukee. That's the news would have did it like they do. Popularized it. Showed it on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News. New rise in stolen kids in Milwaukee. They're doing it with USB cords. They act like they ain't part of the problem. That's what the news do. The news push propaganda. They act like they just reporting the news. Nah, bitch. We ain't need to know that. That shit you could have kept that shit in Milwaukee. Now they doing it everywhere. All these kids that died in car crashes running from the police. Yo, Diddy may beat that case. Yo, if Diddy beat the sex trafficking case, I win. Real. I still pay the $20 because, we bet on the whole case. But I'm only worried about the sex trafficking. I think that's a bogus charge. I don't think Diddy sex trafficked Cassie or none of them other girls. I don't think Diddy sex trafficked them people. I had some motherfucking shit. Fuck all these cars coming on. Cars just popped up behind me. I hate that shit. That's serious. I know we bet he's gonna beat the case. Yeah, but he added new charges since then. Real? That bet was been non and void. But since I'm an honorable person, I'm gonna keep the bet. God, they superseded him like twice since then. Hey yo, and what the feds did, yo, I'm gonna tell you what the feds did to Dirk. That ain't nobody tell y'all. I'm explaining to y'all what they did. I was thinking about it yesterday, but I was thinking about it yesterday and this morning. This is why the feds superseded Dirk. The feds there's no new evidence in Dirk's case, y'all. So anybody telling y'all that is giving you bad information. There's no new evidence. There was enough evidence. Or there was enough, I guess you call it evidence. So accusations. I'm gonna say accusations. There was enough accusations in the first indictment to charge Dirk with stalking resulting in death because he traveled state lines. So, Dirk's lawyer, Drew Finland, made an issue about the lyrics. Basically saying that the Fed case is flawed because of the lyrics. And they misled the jury with these lyrics. So that was Dirk's argument, or that was going to be Dirk's argument going into bail. Alright? Which is Friday or Wednesday or Thursday. It's either Thursday or Friday. Melly go for bail tomorrow. So what the feds did was another dirty move. like I said they was going to do. So basically what they did was, is they went back to the grand jury, took the lyrics out of it. So now when they go to court for the bail hearing, they can say, well, we just superseded them. We didn't use the lyrics, and we still secured the indictment. You understand? It gives their case credibility to say it's not about lyrics. And just in case, right? And just in case, the fact that they lied to the grand jury would be enough to get the case overturned. The first indictment overturned, it won't be enough to get the second one overturned because we ain't use that evidence. That's why the Fed superseded dirt. Y'all. Computer that was wondering. It was about, we're not allowing him to get this case overturned because we lied to the grand jury. So we're going to go to the grand jury again and we're going to present the evidence without this. And we're still going to get an indictment. So this is the thing about the grand jury, y'all. And this is a flawed system when it comes down to the grand jury. The defense doesn't present an argument to the grand jury, just the prosecution. So they're able to indict just based off of one side story. That's fucked up. But that's the system. That's how the system runs. State, federal, it all run like that. Like, how did they allow a system like that to persist? Where you can give a one-sided argument. I can get an indictment on anybody. Shit, if I can go to the grand jury with just my argument and no rebuttals, it should be easy as shit to get an indictment in front of the grand jury. Then I don't even think it don't even have to be unanimous. I think it's 15 people on the grand jury. More than 12 or 6. I forgot what it is exactly. I think it might be 15. We can look it up. What's up, man? Does that make sense to people? Or do people need me to explain it further? Did that make sense to people why they superseded Dirk with the same case? Same charges, everything the same? Also, too, y'all, they don't have no evidence of payment. They can't prove that a payment was made. So they took that off the overt acts. It was just a way for them to try to strengthen their case because their original case that they was bringing against Dirk was kind of, it was a little fugazi. The feds straight dirty, y'all. They play by their own rules. Long Crime did something on it. I see what they say. I guarantee they say something totally opposite of what the truth is. Grand jury, whoever they pick, men and women, people from the community. It's a jury. But the difference is, it's you know, the prosecution is the only one presenting their argument. So they can go up there like, look, we got this, that, and the third. We got this text message. We got this person saying that he did it. But there's no rebuttals. Like, it's just the prosecution's theory. Like, that's easy as shit to get an indictment. You can get an indictment on anybody if you give them one side of the story. It's not how, like, how you deal with your girl and your girl telling lies. Or your boyfriend lying. Just telling their side of the story. They ain't telling the whole story, though. They just telling the story to make themselves look good. And make the other person look bad. But then you find out that, hold up, yo, this motherfucker lied. That ain't even really what happened. That's the grand jury. Nigga, you just came to this bitch and gave this one side of that story. Oh, good. I've been at work since 12 o'clock this morning, yo. I ain't gonna lie, this be some long ass days. Yeah. Long ass motherfucking days. Oh, shit. Getting this motherfucking house. Oh, God, hold on. Sorry. What's this nigga do to the fucking waist? Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I knew I forgot something, yo. Forgot my fucking stand. Oh, no, I didn't stand in the car. Bro, I gotta go back to the car. Shit. You don't say nothing about my dirty shirt, I know I was at work. My shirt dirty. Man, they can indict anybody, bro. Whenever you present one-sided arguments, you can indict any motherfucking body. Nigga can't defend itself. Like, yo, that's a wild system, yo. It's a wild system. You indict a motherfucker, then find out all the evidence is fabricated. I told y'all that's how the first time we got arrested, they held us to the preliminary. Then they dropped the case. And then the next time we got arrested, they indicted us first. So we ain't had no preliminary. We had to go straight to trial. But then you find out that the whole case is lies and made up and coerced. You know what I mean? Case start falling apart. But they don't care. As long as they can get a conviction out you, they straight. Long as they can get a conviction out you, they straight. Yeah, man, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, I've been that bitch all day. I'm tired for real, but y'all know the show must go on. You know what I mean? Now we do. Know how we do? I actually was just in the house probably like 3 hours ago. Came in this bitch real quick. Made something to eat. Went back to work. Was in this bitch probably about 9 o'clock.
Compartmentalizing, what happened on one kick that didn't go through and putting it away so you can go in the most for your next opportunity. That's a challenge, and that's not necessarily a easy thing to do. I still remember misses that I had 12 years ago, and I, will wake up at night thinking about one that got away, but that's just the nature of playing this position. Is you have to treat each one like its own kick. So the first two that I missed today, I was still trying to make it a point to do just that. Treat each kick for what it's worth, and ultimately just decided to make a slight adjustment moving forward for the remaining opportunities that we would have for the rest of the day. I just made it a point, communicated with Nick and Jordan, hey, I'm going to pick a target line that's going to be more right third of the uprights, and we're just going to, just smash the ball and go from there. I'll leave it at that. Just compartmentalizing.
And got rid of old Tuck. Damn Tuck. John Harbaugh. Did John Harbaugh speak about getting rid of Justin Tucker? What it is, man. What Harbaugh said about Tucker a while ago.
I can't believe you got pink eye, Ferris.
When you wake up with pink eye, you get your prescription fast, in like an hour, with Walmart Express delivery.
I ain't gonna lie, pink eye is a bitch. I thought you want to get that shit with your kids.
Mini camps are still a month away. Rookie mini camps happening now that the draft has come and gone. Like 5 teams had them this past weekend. More teams will be on Harbaugh from the weekend talking about Justin Tucker.
As you know, Justin's been in the building the last couple of weeks, kicking and everything, and we've had a chance to talk a little bit.
He probably was
been
missing.
Working hard. I would just say, from a standpoint of the investigation and all that, we don't know anything. We haven't been given any information. And that, as it should be, it's all done the way it's done. So we don't know anything along those lines. So
You
we
lying
can't
like
make
a
any decisions
motherfucker.
based on that. Every decision we make has to be based on football.
Yes, but look,
He
we know a
lying
different
like shit.
standard applies to specialists.
Yeah.
And it just does. It does. When Bill Parcells got the keys to the Miami Dolphins in 2008, was it? 2008,
might have been
2009?
6. I thought, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 2006 was his last year with the Cowboys because that was Tony Romo's first year. And then
Okay.
he
So
decided
maybe
on the flight home after, remember the fumbled snap on the game-winning field goal? He basically decided the wins no longer feel good. The losses are devastating. I'm done. So he ends up with the Dolphins. One of the first orders of business, get Jay Feely the hell out of here because we had a locker room lawyer in Jay Feely. No. Kickers seen and not heard. Don't cause any trouble for me. I can find a kicker anywhere. That's the attitude that plenty of coaches have. So if you land on the radar screen for anything as a kicker, punter, long snapper, holder, you're done. You're just done. A lot of coaches will feel that way. Now with Justin Tucker, okay, is he good enough to justify the headache and the distraction? Maybe he used to be.
Yeah, right.
He's not now.
Right.
I thought they were just waiting for the start of free agency when they'd be able to get a lower cap charge by cutting
He
Justin
definitely
Tucker.
is.
I'm surprised they still have him. And the fact that they used a draft pick on a
Steelers
kicker
got a good kicker though.
tells me that if the kicker checks enough boxes,
Right.
the new kicker's in and Justin Tucker's out.
I mean, they got to make this plan. I mean, I certainly don't fault them for drafting the kicker. One, just like you talked about, just purely on the field, it was shaky last year. It ended off being a little bit better, right, than it started off that first half of the year, the first 10, 12 weeks where you didn't know, certainly. And so from that standpoint, yes, they had to make it. Also, from the standpoint of just two guys like you and me who talk about this every day and follow the league every day 24/7, I mean, by all due accounts and just, gauging the temperature of the water and whatever else, you start to go, yeah, it doesn't look good for him. I don't think things are going to go well. I don't know what the league is going to do, but I can't imagine the league's going to let him continue to play here. So I think the Ravens, they don't do anything because they're just waiting, maybe not to be legally liable or whatever, but waiting for the league.
There's no liability. They can cut him any reason they want. They can cut him for any reason they want at any time they want.
Okay, all right. So either way, then yeah, I don't know what they're waiting for here, other than maybe it's just a legend of the football team who they're showing respect for all that he's done forever, and they're going to see what he looks like a little bit through OTAs and maybe mini camp and all that. Maybe it just comes down to that.
It's the concern that if they cut him, well, the Bengals or the Steelers or the Browns are going to pounce, and all of a sudden he's going to be supercharged, and he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to make all his kicks again, and he's going to be the guy that he was 3, 4, 5 years ago. I assume that's the core concern the Ravens have.
I hear that too. So wait, but I thought if they just cut him right now, you don't think he could file some sort of grievance with the NFL?
Cut a player for any reason you want, anytime.
Okay.
Cut a player, especially now that they've drafted a kicker. They can cut him for any reason they want. His salary is non-guaranteed at this point. Players get cut all the time.
No, I know. This was a little different one with this hovering over it. I thought maybe that changes the dynamic.
Well, look, you're never going to be able to question football reasons. And what did John Harbaugh just tell us?
Yeah, you're right.
It's got to be football reasons.
Right.
So that might be just a little bit off the mark to cover them, because the worst thing you could say, if there is any potential way to push back against this, is to say, well, we keep him, but man, this off-field stuff that he hasn't been disciplined for and may never be disciplined for and has never been substantiated, may never be substantiated, that's really bothering us. That's a bridge too far. That
It's toothless. Oh, you gotta see this.
Epic Universe, only at Universal Orlando Resort.
could be a problem if you come out and say you're not exercising your prerogative as a football team to churn your roster, because we see that all the time. And I think the roster is going to churn at that position. 6th round pick, 186 overall, Tyler Loop, the first time in the 30-year history of the Ravens franchise, asterisk, I don't know what the Browns did before that, but the Baltimore Ravens, who had been the Cleveland Browns, since they moved to Baltimore, they've never used a draft pick on a kicker, ever. So that tells you they're taking the situation seriously, and they're seriously considering moving on from Justin Tucker.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just going to be as simple as you talked about. It's just going to be like, let's make sure the rookie is what we think he is.
Yesterday.
Right? We've seen rookies get to the NFL, and all of a sudden they crap the bed. Sorry, London. And they're not the same as what you saw in college. I feel like we see one of those stories every 2 or 3 years, really, especially with drafted kickers.
Who was the guy? Remember when the Bucks used a 3rd-round pick?
Yes.
The last name Aguayo?
I think it was.
Florida State kicker?
Alberto Aguayo. Aguayo. It was Aguayo. It definitely was. And, it didn't work out well. There was a lot of pressure on him, right? Being that high of a draft pick. He missed a few, and he couldn't get out of his own head, and we never saw him again. But maybe that's what they're waiting here for, just to look at it a little, look at Justin Tucker next to him. How's he kicking it? What's it look like? Does he look, oh my gosh, he's different this year. He's totally healthy. He's crushing the ball like he was 3 years ago. Maybe that'll make them rethink things. But all in all, I'm with you. It seems like, the end is inevitable here.
Roberto Aguayo was the player drafted in round 2.
Damn, it was round 2?
How?
Yeah, so they was already talking about getting rid of Tucker. They did this video 15 hours ago. Yeah, well, sleep to Justin Tucker, man. He had a good run, man. They say all good things come to an end. So Diddy, y'all. So, look at this shit right here first. A$AP Rocky says he wears Rihanna's clothes often. I don't know who drew the line between femininity and masculinity, but I don't see any barriers for me. Yo, the fuck? Yo, why is always black, man, yo? God damn, A$AP, I was in support of your bitch ass. I knew I shouldn't have fucked with you when you wore that fucking kilt, whatever the fuck this shit you. Look at this nigga. Yeah, I'm not supporting no more rap niggas, man. I think I'm done. I think I'm done supporting rap niggas. Look at this. So A$AP Rocky opens up about how he doesn't let gender norms stop him from wearing what he wants to wear. While interviewing with Vogue, why do they always interview with Vogue when they do this shit? Amid the Met Gala, Rocky explains how he wears whatever he wants to, no matter if it's women or men's clothes. He even admits he dibbles and dabbles in Rihanna's closet on occasions. Man, pardon my language. I do what the fuck I want. But in all fairness, I want to represent and be a catalyst for daring men. He think it's crazy. I don't know who drew the line between femininity or just being feminine and masculine. I don't know who drew that line, but I don't see any barriers for me. It's not fair that my girl could just go in my closet and just take anything and wear it. That goes both ways. The fuck wrong with you? She has pieces she don't know that I actually stole. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you can see her on an interview or see a paparazzi photo like, wait, there goes my whatever jacket. Like, hey, yo, this nigga crazy, yo. This nigga's crazy. You gotta keep his connections so you gotta see that. Hey, shit, nigga, you gotta say none of that shit. That nigga crazy. Weird ass nigga. I wish Riley would have told on your bitch ass you caught life. Fucking clown. I don't even fuck with you ever. Prime example, I never fuck with him again. You never hear me support him again. Sometimes football decisions are incredibly difficult, and this is one of those instances. Considering our current roster, we have made the tough decision to release Justin Tucker. Got rid of old Justin. All right, but Diddy. Oh, hold on. Look at this nigga. This nigga's delusional. Did y'all see this? Gutterzay, one of accused in Fulio's murder, says he's innocent, claims there's no evidence, and calls the system evil. Yo, he must ain't watched the news. They got mountains of evidence against these niggas. Hey, yo, these young boys is crazy, right? Yo, you better as well chalk it up like my man did that ran over the police, man. Throwing that bitch head up high, mugging, and all that, yo, because they got a fucking slew of evidence against y'all. Yeah, I don't give them niggas passes, bro. That's what's up. They say they found out the rappers that they thought was involved wasn't involved. They can't identify and don't know who none of the shooters are. Don't have none of the murder weapons, no shell cases, no footage of the shooters getting out of the car. They're saying the murder vehicle just seen it and leaving the general area, the same area our already reserved B&B was. But still, we sitting here. This is so wrong. Obviously, y'all got the wrong people. This is illegal. This is like being kidnapped. We missing the holidays and time away from our families and loved ones. For what? Because of what? Once again, these people are evil. Hey, yo, this guy is tripping. They got hell evidence against them niggas. Thank God this is almost over with. And thank everybody who got and still getting interviewed. Keeping it real. Keep it real, y'all. And evidence clearly shows we wasn't involved. I don't know why they keep trying to force it. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. One of the worst things you can be, right, is when you facing a serious charge. It's delusional. Like, yo, if he really believes this, yo, he is setting himself up for a massive failure. Like, I think when it comes down to all the cases, every case I didn't cover, I think they got the most evidence. I think their case is open and shut. You talk about Old Black, you talk about Dirt case, Big U case, just any YSL, like any case that we covered, yo, I think this case is the easiest to prove. They got everything on them boys. What's up, Harbaugh? They got everything from start to finish. They watched them travel from fucking Jacksonville to Tampa. They seen them taking bags in the Airbnb. Seen them coming out the Airbnb. Tracked them like, yo, come on, man. Like, these niggas is crazy. Yo. Like, yo, don't be delusional, bro. Don't be delusional. Yo. You gonna set yourself up to be crying in the jail cell, man. You gonna be crying in the holding cell when they find them boys guilty. You might as well chalk it up, my nigga. Stand on it. Like my man stood on it. Stand on it. See, that's that new generation compared to how it is nowadays. Like nowadays, I mean how it used to be. You see my man that ran over the police, how he mugged the police when he walked off? That's how it used to be, man. You stood on your decision making. What else I want to show y'all before I get to Diddy? Melly. YNW Melly attorneys exposed prosecutors for allegedly leaking evidence, autopsy photos. A judge will decide on this matter tomorrow along with his bail motion. Yeah, I won't be surprised, y'all, if the feds try to pick Melly up after this. If Melly beat this case, y'all, I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if the feds come and snatch him, y'all. Like, yo, they is doing this boy so wrong. So the prosecutors leaked autopsy photos. The fuck? So they is trying hard to get this boy, man. Like, god damn. I ain't never seen no shit like this before, yo. Like, this is probably the most forced prosecution we ever seen in the world. Like, yo, they is trying hard to get Melly, yo. They is not letting them get away with this shit with nothing. I told y'all, yo, that I wouldn't be surprised if they bribe a juror. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all, if the state of Florida brought a juror or two just to secure a conviction. Because at this point, yo, this is just ridiculous. 6 years, going on 7 years, 3-4 years in solitary confinement for absolutely no reason. Now y'all leaking photos. Y'all got his defense attorney under investigation, trying to get him to move on from that. Like, God, is bad. This whole Melly case is bad, man. Yo, you got to, Benji. That's how it used to be. Yo, people used to stand on that shit, bro. Like, yo, I don't remember. I swear, yo. I wish we could find video. I don't remember going in the courtroom with my head down. I don't remember that, yo. I always was taught, like, yo, you don't let them people see you break. You know what I mean? No matter what you got, yo, you don't allow them people to see you break. You coming that bitch your head held high. Regardless, you might be feeling low as a bitch, but they ain't never gonna know. You ain't never supposed to let them people know that they getting to you, man. Fuck no. You might be in that bitch laughing, smiling, all that shit. I come to bitch, get my family head and all it. Like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna stand on this shit. But those are the old times. Yeah, for real. He going on 7 years in jail, man. He might as well get a boy time served. The fuck, you got 7 years out of him. Shit. And I think that's their focus. If they can't get him, even if they lose the case, they won. They got 7 years out the boy, man. Melly got locked up at like 18. Yo got locked up young as shit. I don't think most people realize how young Melly was. That man was like 18 when he got booked. He's a fucking kid. Yo growing up in that bitch. He gonna be fucked up. If Melly come home, he ain't gonna be the same person. Not after doing all that time on lockup. Yo, Robbie, I was telling the other day, yo. When Melly was home, Young Dolph was still alive. Nipsey was still alive. King Von was alive. Like, yo, just think about how long that was. P&B Rock. Like, all of these guys were still alive, yo, when Melly caught his time. King Von was screaming, free Melly. Right. Von wasn't even big yet. He ain't lied. Like, yo, Melly been locked up a long ass time, yo. He was like, yo, he been locked up a long ass time. You're like, this shit is fucking crazy. What the fuck? How old I was 32 when Melly got booked. 30. The fuck I was. I was 33 when Melly got booked. It ain't like, yo, that shit crazy. They got that boy in there all that time, man. That's crazy, y'all. Like, I don't know how Florida getting away with that shit. Yo, his family should have a massive lawsuit on them people, yo, once he beat this case. He gonna bankrupt Florida. That's why they can't let him beat it. That's why they can't let him beat it, y'all. If he beat this case, oh my gosh, you know the lawsuit that he gonna bring against these motherfuckers? Kidnapping. Man. Yup. Jaden Young and Fool, yo, all them niggas was alive, man. They can't let him beat the case, y'all. Like, wait till this trial start. This trial gonna be crazy. You thought the last one was crazy. Watch this one. You feel me? Watch the dirty games they play with this one. I'm telling you, yo, these people are predatory. Like, y'all think it's a game. Like, yo, that's why you don't even want to play the game with these people, man. You don't even want to play with these people, man. Both 3-2, all of them was alive, bro. Melly got booked in 2018. And they get away with it. They get away with it, bro. That's the crazy, right? They do whatever they want. They get away with it. 9 times, I ain't gonna say 9, 8 times out of 10, yo, they get away with that shit, man. Doing some of the dirtiest shit. Coercing witnesses and shit. You have a witness that don't know about the case, but know about the case. They bring a witness that ain't got shit to do with the case, but know everything. Like, how the fuck he know everything? Nigga ain't even told nobody, but he know everything. Oh man, the police told him that. They coerced the shit out y'all, and it'll never come out. You'll never be able to prove it. And they'll sit you on a stand, and he will go and spit verbatim everything the police told him, and they'll get away with that shit. Guilty. Shit crazy. Yeah, I was just talking about how they did Dirk. I was just telling people that Dirk, what they did with Dirk was dirty. They know that they think that first indictment might be in question. So they went to the grand jury and indicted him again without the lyrics. So now we ain't got no issues. So now even if the first indictment get overthrown because we lied to the grand jury, we still got him on this one. We ain't used none of that evidence. Like, the fact that they can even do that is crazy. The fact that if that was a state case, it'd have been tossed based off of faulty testimony, based off of misleading the grand jury. But the feds, okay, you want to play this game? Yeah, we lied. We ain't going to apologize, though. We just going to indict you again. we're going to indict you again and just take the lyrics out. Now what? And that's what they did to Dirk, man. Dirty move. I don't know why he doing interviews, man. That don't really make sense to me either. That don't really make sense to me either. But the girl from Breakfast Club was at court talking about Diddy, and this is what she had to say.
Ready? Hey guys, I just wanted to check in really quickly. The last time I posted here, I was headed into court, and as y'all know, they take your phones while you're there. So it's been about 3.5 hours since I last updated you guys. So what's happening right now in court, and I'm actually about to go back in. It won't wrap today until around 5 p.m. The judge actually said that this week the court will go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But when they start the opening arguments, they do want to, just be considerate of everybody's time. And they're trying to end everything around 3.
I was just saying that before you came in. That grand jury process is flawed. Like, the fact that you can just get to present your side of the story with no rebuttal and get an indictment is crazy. Like, how the fuck is that even legal? You can get indictment on anybody that way, yo. Like my man said, you can indict a ham sandwich. You go on that bitch and talk about the pig and how they used to cast souls into the pig. And, but we indict the ham sandwiches. Fuck it. No more ham. You don't get no rebuttal. You don't get it. Nobody speaking on the I mean, P&L said that. Ain't nobody speaking good on ham sandwiches. Fuck it. No more ham sandwiches. We banned it in the United States. Yeah, but for real, it's that simple though.
3 p.m. going forward. I will say this judge is very personable. I haven't seen him. The video in the overflow room is not working, so we've only been able to hear audio, but just listening to him, he seems very young, very charismatic. I don't know, he has a lot of belief and hope in this justice system and fairness. He's giving jurors who basically think that they might be a little biased multiple times to explain why. It's like he's not trying to cancel anyone out, but he's also being fair on both sides. There was one point in me listening to some of the jurors where there was a woman who said that some of the evidence that she saw prior to speaking of the Cassie video, there's been about 3 or 4 jurors so far who admitted that they've either seen the video or saw stills from the video. But this one woman in particular wrote on a paper that because of the still image she saw from that video where there was a woman on the ground, Cassie, and a man standing over her, Diddy, that this evidence could be damning. The judge asked her multiple times to explain what damning meant and if she could make a fair decision as a juror because of that. Now, it was decided by, Diddy's attorneys that it was too distinctive. Like, how are you saying that this evidence is damning when you haven't even seen anything besides that, right? And then on the prosecutor side, of course, they argued, well, she said the word but, and she said, but he is innocent until proven guilty. So they were arguing back and forth, and the judge ultimately decided with Diddy's side to say, hey, I don't think that this woman should be a juror. So I think it's going to be a pretty fair case. I will say about this Cassie video, one of the things that caught me completely off guard was the fact that the prosecutors, as of now, are deciding, and it's raining out here, so my hair is going crazy. The prosecutors are deciding right now, as of right now, that the Cassie video will not be used. It has not been excluded by a judge officially, even though Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, said it as if it was excluded. He came on the record and mentioned, well, this woman is mentioning evidence that has been excluded. So then the prosecutor came back and said, no, it hasn't been excluded. We've just decided not to use it as of now. I thought that was insane because I know the prosecutors have argued
another dirty play by the feds. That was the point. The point, y'all, remember I've been telling y'all from the beginning, man. I think I've been the only one telling y'all. Yo, the point with all of this Diddy shit was the damage to jury pool, man. The lawsuits, the video. Remember I was saying that shit? That was the goal from the beginning, yo. Dirty as a motherfucker. They still haven't figured out. You know, it's still an investigation as to who leaked that video. We know who leaked it. I mean, it's only two people that could have leaked it, either the feds or the fucking Homeland Security. One of them leaked it. But yeah, that was the play the whole time, yo. The play was the damage to jury pool, man. Everybody knows. All of them are going in there with the mind frame of guilt. You couldn't miss it. The man fucking fuck the boy name. Tony Busby got on there and announced 120 lawsuits on the nigga. Didn't file none of it, and they all got tossed out. But how many people know they got tossed out? Yo, once you put a lie out there, yo, it's hard to bring it back. You know what I mean? They know this. 9 times out of 10, yo, more people's gonna watch the lie than the truth. The truth gonna get shadowed. You know what I mean? The truth's gonna get thrown underground. How many people know that all them lawsuits Busby filed got tossed? If you could put a percentage on the people that watched Busby say he got 120 lawsuits on Diddy versus the people that watched that knows that all them lawsuits got tossed. Yo, that shit probably like 20%. 20% of the people that seen Busby announce 120 lawsuits on Diddy know that they got tossed. I would say less than 20. I would probably say 10, maybe 5%. Most people still think Diddy is sued by Busby and 120 lawsuits on him. The man really only filed like 30 and he dropped all of them. Oh shit, oh my God, we gotta start over.
Ready? Hey guys, I just wanted to check.
Fuck.
Really quickly, the last time I posted here, I was headed into court, and as y'all know, they take your phones while you're there. So it's been about 3.5 hours since I last updated you guys. So what's happening right now in court, and I'm actually about to go back in. It won't wrap today until around 5 p.m. The judge actually said that this week the court will go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But when they start the opening arguments, they do want to, just be considerate of everybody's time, and they're trying to end everything around 3 p.m. going forward. I will say this judge is very personable. I haven't seen him. The video in the overflow room is not working, so we've only been able to hear audio. But just listening to him, he seems very young, very charismatic. I don't know. He has a lot of belief and hope in this justice system and fairness. He's giving jurors who basically think that they might be a little biased multiple times to explain why.
Let's get 200 likes.
It's he's not trying to cancel anyone out, but he's also being fair on both sides. There was one point in me listening to some of the jurors where there was a woman who said that some of the evidence that she saw prior to speaking of the Cassie video, there's been about 3 or 4 jurors so far who admitted that they've either seen the video or saw stills from the video. But this one woman in particular wrote on a paper that because of the still image she saw from that video where there was a woman on the ground, Cassie, and a man standing over her, Diddy, that this evidence could be damning. The judge asked her multiple times to explain what damning meant and if she could make a fair decision as a juror because of that. Now, it was decided by, Diddy's attorneys that it was too distinctive. How are you saying that this evidence is damning when you haven't even seen anything besides that, right? And then on the prosecutor side, of course, they argued, well, she said the word but, and she said, but he is innocent until proven guilty. So they were arguing back and forth, and the judge ultimately decided with Diddy's side to say, hey, I don't think that this woman should be a juror. So I think it's going to be a pretty fair case. I will say about this Cassie video, one of the things that caught me completely off guard was the fact that the prosecutors, as of now, are deciding, and it's raining out here, so my hair is going crazy. The prosecutors are deciding right now, as of right now, that the Cassie video will not be used. It has not been excluded by a judge officially, even though Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilio, said it as if it was excluded. He came on the record and mentioned, well, this woman is mentioning evidence that has been excluded. So then the prosecutor came back and said, no, it hasn't been excluded. We've just decided not to use it as of now. I thought that was insane because I know the prosecutors have argued so much to be able to use this video, but maybe it's just something that they keep it in a holster in case they need it. But I don't know. I thought that was such a big deal. The fact that as of right now it will not be used, but again, it can be entered at any time. What else? There's been so much happening. I think that honestly that was the biggest thing. I'll be back with more updates though. I got you. I'll be back with more updates, and actually a full breakdown will happen on the latest with Lauren LaRosa on the Breakfast Club, and of course on the podcast, the latest with Lauren LaRosa. Wherever you get your podcast, I gotta go. My hair is already all over the place right now. It's raining, but I'm here. I'm not leaving until this is over, and we'll be here every day as much as we can, bringing y'all the latest. Thanks for tuning in.
So let's see.
Ready?
I know Law and Crime did something. They did something on Dirt too. We ready to watch both them bitches. I know they did a whole bunch of lying over that bitch. It's the lie. They need to call it the Lie and Crime Network. I'm pushing narratives over that motherfucker. Yo, hold up, y'all. Let me go back to this nigga, y'all. This Bruce Rivers nigga, y'all. We gotta get rid. Bruce Rivers. Look at this title yo did on Dirt. He's not the brightest. Like, who the fuck is, like, yo, these niggas are police officers, y'all. Yo, who the fuck is him to talk about, like, yo, I thought he was a criminal. Yo, I thought he supposed to have been a criminal lawyer. That bitch ass, nigga, he's like a prosecutor. Yo, we still trying to verify his credentials. Has anybody, do you know anybody? Cousin, brother, sister, uncle, that has been represented by Bruce Rivers, the criminal lawyer? We need answers, man. We need to kick him out of our culture. He said some of the wildest, dumbest things that I probably have ever seen in my life. Yeah, for real. Yo, where'd he come from? It just came out of nowhere and just started slandering niggas. Yeah, I knew Law and Crime did something. 16 girls murder. I think I covered this case. I did cover this case. Yeah, I covered that case. Damn, I gotta look into that. See what the fuck happened, but I covered that.
Day one of jury selection of the criminal trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs has begun. We learned about potential celebrities who might be mentioned at this trial, a theft of a wand at the Harry Potter store, Combs apparently admitting he's nervous, and whether or not we can actually get an impartial jury to hear this monumental case. This is a full recap of the day and what you might have missed in court. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime legal alert. So lawsuits allege that antacid use has been linked to increases in stomach cancer and gastric cancer. Yeah. 6 alternates to sit and hear this case in Manhattan federal court. And it's being reported that 150 potential jurors are being brought in. So what did day one of jury selection look like in Sean Combs' criminal case? Well, since there are no cameras allowed in federal court, we have with us our very own eyes and ears about what happened in that courtroom today. Law and Crimes reporter Elizabeth Milner was there. Elizabeth, so good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me, Jesse.
So I'm going to start with the question I always ask you. How did Diddy look? What was he wearing? And who was with him?
Well, today was a lot different, obviously, because it's day one of jury selection, or to some, they consider it day one of the trial. So Diddy looked completely different from his pretrial hearing in that he wasn't wearing the standard issue khaki tan jumpsuit provided by MDC. Instead, he looked a lot different. And as we know from the last judge's order that was made last week, Diddy is allowed to wear normal attire, but he looked a little similar to what I kind of presume to be a choir boy. So he came in with a blue pullover sweater. He had a white collared shirt. He had navy
niggas don't
slacks.
give a fuck about
Couldn't get a look at
what
his
he had on, y'all. Like, niggas trying about the case.
It's like Diddy is finally admitting the weight is kind of coming on to him as far as having to go to trial for these federal charges that he's facing. And of course, that being 5 federal, which could carry, if he is sentenced or if he is convicted on these charges, could carry decades in prison. So it's a lot of weight on his shoulders. And we've kind of presumed that as well, too, because obviously, since he's been incarcerated, his hair has been great. He did come in today. His face wasn't completely shaven, so his goatee was a little white as well, too. But when he had first come into the courtroom, he did what he usually does. He hugged all of his attorneys. He looked outside or he looked into the gallery to see who was there as far as family goes. Unfortunately, no immediate family was inside the courtroom today. But again, we have 2 more months to go at trial, so it's likely that they'll be here for opening statements. But that's, unclear as far as what family members will be there at what times, that type of sort. But as far as today inside the courtroom, it was really that associate or member of his entourage who, again, was wearing that free puff hat, that free puff sweatshirt. But instead, he had to flip it inside out, as we probably presumed, because those prospective jurors are going to be coming into that same courtroom where we're sitting as the press, where his associates are sitting. So he had to turn that shirt inside out. And what I did also spot was Justin Combs' brother inside the courtroom too. Now with Justin Combs' brother, we have to remember that he is not Diddy's son. However, it's somebody who has been who Diddy is obviously very familiar with, that being his son's other brother from a different relationship, because it's a tangled family web as far as everything goes with the family and everything like that. But while Justin Combs wasn't inside the courtroom, his brother was, and I think Diddy kind of looked at both of those two associates and then Justin Combs' brother kind of as support, kind of as like a nice presence to be inside the courtroom, because I do think he relies a lot on the support of his family and of his loved ones to be inside that courtroom. But again, we still have 2 more months of trial, so I assume, his mother, his daughter, maybe possibly his daughters, but at least bare minimum, his sons will be inside that courtroom. If they'll be there every day, that's a wait and see, but I'm sure for opening statements, they definitely will be.
And I got to say, I'm not surprised. If he meant it, he's nervous. Look, it's not only decades. He could potentially face life in prison if he's convicted of the most serious charge. And look, his defense team was pushing forward to get this in front of a jury as soon as possible. It seems they feel confident in getting an acquittal here or putting the prosecution's feet to the fire. I want to move on to a little bit about what happened today. You and I had spoken earlier today about who was there for him. Attorneys there for him. Mark Garagos now there is in a more of a consultant role. So you have the attorneys, you have the prosecutors in court. I want to talk about the jury. Okay, so it's my understanding that prospective jurors came in last week. They filled out these questionnaires. And based on their responses, that number is going to be ultimately whittled down to the jurors who were selected in this case. So first, before we even get into the ins and outs of what jurors said in court, can you just give us a brief snapshot of what were some of the questions that these jurors were asked in their questionnaires, because that became a big focus of what their responses were. So, and I know, and by the way, just to let everybody know, a little while ago, the court actually released preliminary instructions in this case and some of those questions too, and maybe we'll put it up. But Elizabeth, you give us a general brief idea about what were some of the questions they were asked.
Well, some of the questions included just people and places, whether or not there was a whole laundry list of celebrities, and whether or not these prospective jurors were familiar with them. They ranged from Kanye West to Michael B. Jordan to Young Miami to Dallas Austin, who's a music producer, to Harv Pierre, who actually was named as one of the defendants in one of Diddy's civil suits. And so prospective jurors were asked who they knew, and most of them were very honest about their answering. They were like, know them personally, but I do recognize, for example, Michael B. Jordan from movies. Obviously, Sinners is very popular right now, so of course that is probably going to be the name most were able to answer yes or no to. But I was kind of surprised at how many people didn't know of these like laundry list of popular celebrities, especially when you have names like Kanye West on there, especially when you have names like, you know, Michael B. Jordan, that type of sort. But there were some prospective jurors who did not, or who were not familiar with these certain people. Now, as far as places goes, I don't know the full extent of what was asked as far as places goes, but there was this one juror who did kind of talk about a hotel, the Essex House Hotel, that was on the list of places that prospective jurors were asked about. And this juror in particular, he just said, you know, he had worked at this particular hotel sometime last year and all of that sort. Now, as far as some of the other questions that were asked, you know, they were asked simple questions as far as, do you know any additional information about this case? Do you have any training in addictive treatment, domestic violence, sexual abuse? Do you have any views about prosecutors or law enforcement? Have you been involved in legal issues such as a lawsuit, such as a criminal case? Have you been a victim of a crime? Do you have feelings about law enforcement, hip-hop artists, witnesses testifying under immunity, witnesses also testifying under a pseudonym? And is there any reason that you wouldn't be able to serve as a prospective juror? Now, some of these questions, especially when it comes to like legal issues, criminal issues, surprisingly, a lot of people were very forthcoming, whether it be that they were in a DUI accident, that being that they were the victim of a DUI accident. One woman had talked about how she stole a wand from Harry Potter World. A lot of these jurors have been very transparent as far as being honest about some of the legal issues that they've dealt with in their past.
I definitely want to get into all that for sure. And by the way, just before I get into a little bit more of the celebrity aspect, so I understand the judge came in, brought the jurors in, read them preliminary instructions, and just so everybody knows what we're dealing with, I'm reading from this document that was released. You know, don't do any research on this case. Don't discuss your questions and answers of the case with anyone or until further instructed by the court.
Yeah, everybody know about this case, yo. Like, they made sure of it. You feel me? Like, yeah, they made sure everybody knew. And everybody watched Keep It G News. And yo, do y'all remember when all this shit first kicked off? And we used to have 1,000 people over this bitch. And they used to be mad at me for like, yo, this case is garbage. What the fuck happened to them people? You know what I mean? Those are the people that's going to build the jury. They don't want to hear the truth. You know what I mean? They already got their mind made up on Diddy, man. Diddy did that shit. In their mind, Diddy did shit to Justin Bieber, Usher. Diddy did shit to every motherfucking body in the industry. Because you got guys like Gene Deal that been on the internet for 7 years calling for the prosecution of Diddy. You got Jaguar Wright that been on the internet for 4 years calling for the prosecution of Diddy. Yeah, man, it's like, yo, god damn, man, what the fuck? Let the man fight. And then when it all falls down, Gene Deal come back and say, I ain't never see Diddy do anything. Yo, pulled a whack 100. That's the same shit Wack did to Big U. Did all that slander on the man. Then he get booked to say, you know, I technically never seen Big U do these things. Like, yo, come on, man, get the fuck out of here. You niggas terrible. Niggas terrible, man. Shit should be a crime what these niggas doing online.
To the schedule, potential jurors will be called back for further questioning and jury selection from Monday, May 5th through Friday, May 9th. Your availability during that week will be required. The trial will commence on Monday, May 12th, 2025.
Diddy got charged. He got charged with that's fine. What is Diddy exact charges? It was only 3 charges at first, but they gave him 2 more. Come on, man. That's stupid. What are the 5 charges that Diddy have?
According to CBSNews.com, he has pleaded not guilty, and it is.
That's not it. Racketeering, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution, forced labor is another one. And I don't know what the last one is. He gonna beat this racketeering. I think he gonna beat this one too. They might hit Diddy with this transportation to engage in prostitution. This the charge that he might. This the charge that he might get found guilty on. He gonna beat the racketeering. He gonna beat the sex trafficking. But he might be done on this. Depending on how the jury view freak offs. Yeah, man. Depending on how freaky the jury is. If you get a freaky jury, it might be good. That's what they need to try to. They need to try to ask some questions about their sex life. Yo, if you get a jury that participated in BDSM like Shannon Sharp, he need a shit. Yo, Diddy needs Shannon Sharp on the jury. Straight up. Is Shannon Sharp a resident in New York City? Diddy needs him right now. Find Shannon, yo, get him on the jury, man. Yeah, they charge him with 2 more. Yeah, Jane a rat motherfucker.
Again, assuming they can get a jury by that time. This trial is expected to last about 8 weeks. And generally, trial will be held 5 days per week, Monday through Friday. During the first week of trial, Monday, May 12th, 2025, through Friday, May 16th, 2025, trial will be held from 9:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. After the first week, trial will be held from 9:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. Trial will not be held on Friday, May 23rd, Monday, May 26th, Thursday, June 19th, Friday, July 4th. These are all the holidays. But going back to the celebrities for a second, I found it very interesting that the jurors were asked, is there anybody on this list?
That's really all Diddy was. All Diddy did was use his money to bring porn to life. That's what he did. He brought porn to life, man. Some people watch porn. He made porn. Yeah, man. That's all he did. He just did it with his girlfriends. Like they really making that shit a crime, man.
Jordan. Kid Cudi, who you and I both know, became a component in Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. We believe Cassie's going to be a part of this case, probably victim 1. The allegation is that she had a romantic relationship with him, that Sean Combs may have blown up his car at one point. I didn't know what the connection of Mike Myers, the actor, I didn't know what the connection Michael B. Jordan might be. Kanye West, I mean, as far as I know, Elizabeth, Kanye West had been, talking to Sean Combs in jail, maybe called him up. I'm surprised by some of these names. And also, I mean, if you have any more context about what their connection could be to the discussion about the case, but is it my understanding that Kim Porter, his ex, Sean Combs' ex, mother of his children, some of his children, and who died several years ago, she may play a role in this case as well?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring up. Now, Michael Myers, not 100% sure as far as what his kind of connection is and why his name was even on that list. But as far as Michael B. Jordan, I thought about it for a second, and it kind of makes sense possibly why Michael B. Jordan. And that's that they kind of share a common ex, him, Sean Combs, and Michael B. Jordan. That's Lori Harvey. Now, Lori Harvey dated Sean Combs for a brief period a few years ago, and then as we know, or maybe as people know from Instagram, Michael B. Jordan.
That's not why they asking him that question, yo. They asking those questions just to figure out who's involved in entertainment. Do y'all know any of these people? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, these motherfuckers are horrible at their job, yo. They not asking them questions because they're gonna be witnesses on the motherfucking list. They're asking them questions to get a better understanding of are y'all immersed in the entertainment industry? Because if you're not, it greatens the chance that you don't know what's going on with Diddy. Like, what the fuck is they talking about? The fuck? These niggas ain't gonna build over. These niggas not testify. They're not gonna be. They ain't got nothing to do with the case. They just trying to figure out who is immersed in entertainment, black entertainment, or not even just black, but it's entertainment in general. That's why they asking those questions, y'all. Niggas is fucking stupid. The fuck they find these guys at? Like, they really tried to make this like a legitimate law platform, but they don't even know what the fuck they talk about.
And then Lori Harvey went on to have like a years-long relationship after the fact. Now, that's as far as I know is probably what the connection would be as to why Michael B. Jordan specifically was on that list. But there were other famous names on that list as well, too. You had Aubrey O'Day, you had Don Richard, you had, I go back to like faces like, or names like Harp Pierre, who used to be president of Bad Boy Records. And as far as Kim Porter specifically, now she was brought up when one of these prospective jurors was kind of talking about her role as a chief marketing officer for a local or for a big book publishing company. And I bring that up specifically because apparently there is going to be a memoir that's going to be coming out later this fall. And that memoir is going to be Albie Shore's memoir. And he is a very important kind of central figure a little bit in Diddy's life. And I say that because he is the biological father of Quincy Brown, who Diddy adopted. Diddy, along with Kim Porter, because Kim Porter is Quincy Brown's biological mother. And that's why I say there's such a tangle web when it comes to the Combs / Albie Shore family / Justin Combs' family as well too. And so that was kind of the context as far as why Kim Porter and even Albie Shore were brought up. And that a prospective juror did work at a local or at a publishing company. I think it was Simon and Schuster. And she was talking about how she had viewed a press release about this memoir that's again going to be coming out called Do You Believe Me? And it's pretty
the fans may start coming out on freaky ass niggas, man. I'm telling you. Niggas better tighten up. The motherfuckers coming.
Interesting too, because the ties of that in a sense are also kind of related to the documentaries. Now this one, I believe it's the Peacock documentary as opposed to the HBO documentary, and that Albie Shore has made some allegations that have, come from Diddy's team. They have come back and they have said these allegations aren't true when it comes to allegations that somehow, some way Diddy was involved in Kim Porter's death. Now, as far as whether or not this stuff is going to be admitted into trial, that's unclear right now. But it was interesting kind of the government's point of the case, because they said that they don't really believe that Kim Porter and Albie Shore will really be mentioned in the trial, whereas the defense, they seem pretty adamant that both of those names will be mentioned in the trial. So again, we still have 2 months. We don't know what all the government has up their sleeves, but it'll be interesting to see kind of how the defense comes and counters that, and how all this information that is brought in some of these documentaries and these podcasts, because it seems that some of the figures that were in these documentaries, according to the government, will also be testifying as witnesses in this case. So it seems like you're kind of just having a little cross pattern above all boards when it comes to what's going on and how some of these people in Diddy's lives who have appeared on these documentaries will appear inside that courtroom as well too.
So let's go back to the idea of the jurors having a legal history, whether it's criminal history, whether it's a filing lawsuits. You got to tell me what you learned. And please, just to reiterate one more time for our audience, because they trying to put on.
They trying to put on a good show. Like a lot of these platforms, they're not interested in telling the truth. They just trying to put on. They leading people on. So right now, they just push the narrative that Michael B. Jordan might testify. Kanye might testify. Y'all, none of these people is testifying. None of them. You feel me? And I'm sure they know that. They gotta know that. If I know that, they gotta know. I mean, you would thought they knew that, being as though this how they portraying themselves on these platforms. But ain't none of them people testifying, man. That was all for the purposes of how much do you know about entertainment. That's all it was, y'all. How much do you know about entertainment? Do you know any of these people? Because chances are, if you are into entertainment heavy, you know about Diddy case. That's why those people was mentioned.
A potential juror who stole a wand?
She was probably one of my favorite prospective jurors, I'm not going to lie. Officer, but as far as her stealing the wand from Harry Potter World, that was obviously brought up in open court, and she was very honest about it. Honestly, when I heard when the judge asked her, "What did you steal?" and she said a wand, there was an audible chuckle inside that courtroom. But pretty much, she wasn't like convinced.
Celebrities or places, talk to me about what they've seen about the case, whether that was documentaries, whether or not that was evidence that has been released so far in this case. What did we learn about what the jurors' exposure to the Sean Diddy Combs criminal case has been so far?
Yeah, it seemed like it really kind of varied. Some people have seen the documentary, that either being on HBO, The Fall of Diddy, or if they've seen the one on Peacock as well too.
They made sure everybody said it. TMZ done put out 4 Diddy documentaries on TV. 4 of them bitches. Like, they didn't see it all, man. They seen it all.
The government, the court reporter, the judge, and I think the judge's clerk was in that kind of huddle as well too. And they just kind of spoke honestly and candidly while there's kind of this static going on in the courtroom. But the thing is that Diddy himself can kind of see the live transcript of what is being talked about from this prospective juror. So although we as the press can't hear what they are talking about or what these answers are, Diddy can kind of see a live transcription of it from inside, or not from inside, but from at the defense table where there's kind of a big computer set up and all the live transcriptions kind of going through that. So he can see the answers. So that kind of took care of the logistical issue, because at first they were talking about kind of sealing the answers, then kind of having it separate, and it would be too much, that it would take up too much time. But it seems like the method at which they're going is working out for both sides. You know, they go up, it doesn't take maybe more than about 2 minutes or so. They come back down. The judge will either keep the juror or dismiss the juror. And in this particular case, this juror who went over to the sidebar, she was dismissed for cause. That's kind of how they were able to kind of work around this entire situation. And it seems to be going pretty smoothly from both ends. I don't see too many complaints from either side on how this process is really going.
Let me add a little bit of legal context to that. So first of all, I would imagine that Combs has a right to see the transcript, right? Sixth Amendment right, public trial, due process right. So he has an ability to be there during the jury selection process in his own criminal case. It is interesting when we talk about this jury selection process, because we're not saying jurors were selected today to officially be on the trial. They've moved, or certain jurors have moved through the first stage of the process. Now, they can be stricken for cause. So a specific reason why they cannot serve on this jury, a legitimate reason. Now, that's different from later on when both sides, generally speaking, the prosecution and the defense, will have the option to put forward preemptory challenges. So both sides are typically granted a certain number of preemptory challenges where they can strike a potential juror without even providing a reason. And that's very advantageous for both the prosecution and the defense. But Elizabeth, moving on from today so far, based on Judge Subramanian, who's the first guard to determine whether or not a juror can be stricken for cause, generally speaking, what did you make of his decision-making today? I mean, did he excuse a lot of jurors? Did he excuse maybe more jurors that were favored by the defense over the prosecution? Because I'll tell you, I know there was one juror, for example, who had apparently been watching the HBO documentary on Diddy. The prosecution was concerned about this juror, and the defense wasn't concerned, but the judge ended up excluding that juror nonetheless. So from what you could see on day one, were there a lot of jurors excused? Did it seem that more of the defense's preferences for jurors were excused, maybe more of the prosecution's? And where are we right now? I mean, do you believe that we're actually going to get a jury seated in a week?
I kind of hold my breath a little bit on whether or not we'll actually see an entire jury this week, but we'll see. You never know what can happen. I'm still in shock that we're even about to go on trial next week. So, you know, don't take my word for it necessarily. But as far as the judge kind of dismissing jurors or keeping jurors, I was surprised at the amount of jurors that he kind of held on to today. To your point, Jesse, just kind of about this one juror, you know, who had seen the documentary, or even one juror I found interesting. She was the one with the ocular migraine. She says it happens only about a few times a year. She says she needs like about 20-30 minutes. And I was kind of surprised that the judge had kept her on, because, you know, she was also the one to kind of talk about how a dentist who she had worked under was previously inappropriate with her when she was a teenager and all of that sort, and yet the judge decided to keep her on. And there was one moment that Diddy, I could tell, wasn't too fond of this particular juror. I shouldn't say too fond, but you could tell that he didn't seem like he had necessarily wanted her as a part of the juror, and that was that HBO photo producer. And so she had talked about, you know, she also kind of talked about, you know, her previous history when it came to molestation in her family. It was by a cousin, and it was done to her and her sister. She says she can feel empathy, but also be fair and impartial. But she did particularly point out that she called the CNN video disturbing and unsettling to watch. But she said that she could listen to all of the facts. And she was also
get found guilty, like he ain't gonna get he ain't get no 15, 20 years, man. I don't even like Top 5. I think Top 5 is a fucking cornball. If I was to speak on top 5, it's gonna be me disrespecting them, yo. So I just ignore them.
Also the one who kind of had talked about, you know, the water cooler talk at the office, mainly about Diddy and his case, that type of sort. But the defense did bring up that HBO documentary, but the government said that she shouldn't be excused. And so it seems like for now, she'll be staying on as a prospective juror. But as far as just other jurors that were released, you know, they were released either because they had time constraints. One juror, he just started a job like last week. So him being tied to a 2-month trial, the judge was like, okay, we're going to dismiss you and you're good to go. The other juror that was brought in for that sequestered question, but in the form of a sidebar in open court, that type of thing, she was excused for cause. Then the last juror I was in before I had to come out and do the hit with you, she was kind of talking about how she had watched the documentary, but she kind of had a lot of long pauses when the judge would ask her follow-up questions just about whether or not she could be fair and impartial, when particularly or possibly you could see one of the people who did, you know, either analysis or did speak to the documentary, that they could possibly be the ones to testify. And when the judge asked her, you know, can you put away the documentary and actually listen to the facts of the case and listen to this witness testimony in the trial, she kind of had these long pauses and that sort. And so the government was just like, Your Honor, I'm a little worried about this. The defense, you know, they kind
I told you I want to fight Charleston. I want a cage match with Charleston White, man, to the death. Somebody got to die when it's all said and done. World not big. The internet not big enough for me at Charleston. Yeah, I want to look into this case, but I'm getting tired. I got to check. We got to look into it. I covered this case of them kids. Let me see. Let's see the dirty work they did on Dirt. Nah, hell no. I ain't trying to watch them niggas. I don't even like them niggas. And both niggas clowns. Charles White a Fed agent and fucking 607 Uncle fucking crackhead. Like niggas really watching the crackhead.
Lil Durk still remains in a federal detention center in Los Angeles since his arrest in October. Now his defense team is hoping to have the case dismissed altogether, or at the bare minimum.
You ain't see that wild ass case he got? That Byron Blake exposed? That man got a wild ass case with a white boy in a hotel.
Be able to get their client out of federal lockup pending trial. And the defense is slamming federal prosecutors, claiming they misled the grand jury by presenting what the defense calls false evidence in the rapper's murder for hire case. I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. What is the false evidence the defense is talking about? Well, they claim it's song lyrics the government painted to the grand jury as Lil Durk celebrating it.
We already discovered. We already explained what happened with that. I seen another video about Dirk they did. The fuck they changed the title? Yeah, we ain't gotta watch that, cause we already explained. I told y'all what they did with Dirk. They superseded Dirk because that first indictment might be in question because they lied to the grand jury, so they superseded him without the lyrics. That's what they did. That's what they did because they know they played the dirty game, and they ain't want to go to trial with that indictment, so they superseded them with the same case, no new evidence. Anybody selling y'all idea that they got new evidence on Dirk is lying, or just don't understand how the feds operate. No, he ain't no new evidence. Actually, got less evidence because they took off the payment. There's no proof of payment. There's no proof Dirk paid anybody to kill anybody. If it was proof, if it was proof, they wouldn't have took that off. They wouldn't have took that off the table. They wouldn't have took that off as an overt act. But I'm tired of shit, y'all. I really want to see. Matter of fact, let's watch that shit real quick. Cause I want to see what happened with these young kids. So I remember this case. This case is wild. They killed that little girl for nothing. I think they killed her for nothing. I think they set her up.
We are shocked. Not only are the victims juveniles.
Y'all remember I covered this case?
The murderers
I covered this case a while ago. It's probably like 2 years ago.
Are juveniles as well.
We see a lot of shocking cases, especially out of the Sunshine State of Florida. In this case, you have 3 very young suspects. At the time, one was 17, another one 16, and the youngest one was just 12 years old at the time of their arrest. All were arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection to the murders of 3 other teens. But there's still so much more to this story.
Each and every one of them, in some shape or form, is associated with a gang. Basically, simple terms, there is no honor among thieves.
I ain't been on the internet all day. I've been working.
These 3 individuals turned on our 3 victims and murdered them.
Yeah, they was friends.
I'm Elizabeth Milner with Law and Crime. So you have 3 suspects and 3 victims, but it looks like one of the boys charged in the case won't even be going on trial. He went forward with a plea deal, but like with many deals, it comes with strings attached. We're going back to March of 2023 for this case. On March 30th, 16-year-old Layla Silvernail was found on the side of the road. She was rushed to a local hospital where she passed away from her injuries. Now, the following morning, deputies found another body. This one of 17-year-old Michael Hodo Jr. Then another body was found the following day, also of gunshot wounds. This one of 16-year-old Camille Quarles. All of their murders were connected, what investigators say, but the details were pretty shocking.
As all of you are well aware, last Thursday, March 30th, we received a call near Forest Lakes Park, where our first victim, Layla Silvernail, was located suffering from a gunshot wound. She would later succumb to her injuries. The following morning, we responded to a location about a half a mile away and located a second victim deceased on the side of the road from an apparent gunshot wound.
Yeah, this story was crazy, man.
Then on Saturday, April 1st, my deputies located Layla's car abandoned and partially submerged in a pond about 9 miles from the location where she was found. My investigators located the third victim inside of the car. And I'll go ahead and tell you, because you've been asking me for specific details. She was located in the trunk. Now, I want to clear up before we get into those details, based on the interviews, digital evidence from her phone, she was there of her own free will.
Chasing.
Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods kept it tight-lipped on who the third victim was during that press conference, but it was later revealed that it was 16-year-old Camille's body found in that trunk. Sheriff Woods said at the time investigators were quick to know who the suspects were. I mean, you can see 2 of the suspects on the screen at the press conference, but who are they? Well, a then 17-year-old Robert Robinson and a then 12-year-old Christopher Atkins, and then a 16-year-old Taj Brutman, who was actually on the run at the time the sheriff held this press conference.
The suspects were in the vehicle. This individual, who is a juvenile also, is who we're looking for. Now, I'm talking to the viewers. Some of you know him, you know where he is, and you need to turn him in.
Yeah, this is fucked up.
Now, I will get him.
Cause they was friends.
I will find him.
That's the thing. That's the thing she haven't mentioned yet. Like, I don't know what maybe it's like a gang, but they was all friends. All of them, all 6 of them. I don't know how the fuck this shit turned into this. I don't even remember what I said in the video that I did.
And justice will be completed.
But the sheriff dropped a huge bombshell that all 3 teens, the victims included, were involved with robberies and burglaries. And that's not all.
What it was.
Now, the investigators were able to determine that this group of juveniles were involved in committing burglaries and robberies, which they referred to as a lick. Now, although we had out there that was gang related, we have nothing specific to say that it was any rivalry or anything to such that cause.
Only when they charge the juveniles.
But however, each and every one of them, in some shape or form, is associated with a gang. Basically, simple terms, there is no honor
among thieves. And at some point, these three individuals turned on our three victims and murdered them. Two of them right there. They fled the scenes, but left a lot of evidence in their wake. Through the cooperation
These is
of the
all good
agencies
kids,
that I
though, yo.
previously mentioned,
Yo, this be
and my office,
this be
we
the
were
drill
able-
music murders. Like, yo, this is drill music related murders, man. Like, yo, these are kids. They wasn't living in a harsh environment. Like, they not living in a high crime environment. They in a small ass town, influenced by music more than likely, and did some old dumbass shit.
able to begin compiling all of the evidence and finding these killers.
Yeah, for real. You ain't lying.
Now, we were shocked and saddened by the violence, as all of my citizens, because we are shocked. Not only are the victims juveniles, but the murderers are juveniles as well.
So Taj Bruton was arrested by U.S. Marshals 2 days after that press conference. Then in May of that same year, all three were indicted by a grand jury. But let's get into what investigators revealed in the arrest affidavit, specifically Christopher Atkins. According to the document, a witness reported to deputies that a car struck his garage dumpster. As he walked to the dumpster, he saw Layla bleeding from her head. She was still breathing when she was. Another witness, whose name was redacted from the report, also recalled hearing the sounds of 4 or 5 loud pops, which she believed to be gunshots. This witness said after hearing the pops, she looked out of her window and saw a 4-door sedan drive off, but slowly, and that's when the car glided into the dumpster. She said she saw someone run out of the front passenger seat, only noting whoever it was skinny and wearing a baseball cap, but whoever was driving the car took off again after being confronted. So Layla was shot, but her car was gone. Investigators say the final 2 license plate reader detections were consistent with Layla's car traveling to where her body was found and where Michael's body was later found. Because as we know, the next day he was found unresponsive in a ditch and a bunch of blood was near his head. Now authorities saw drag marks. Michael was wearing gloves and a ski mask and his clothes were saturated in blood. A lot of Michael's portion was redacted, even his name. We only know his name through reports after the fact. So the sedan the witness saw was found. It was found near the edge of some water. Evidence techs opened the trunk and saw a body. Camille's name was also redacted out of the report, but as we know from the sheriff, it was her body found in that trunk. Investigators say her body was partially decomposing. When they pulled her out of the trunk, she had a gunshot wound to her right temple with close-range powder burns. She was also shot in the stomach. A friend told police both Camille and Layla had been staying at her home for a couple of months. That friend said they made several stops in Layla's car on the day of the murders, and even went to hang out with Robert Robinson at his so-called trap house. They left because it wasn't air-conditioned. That friend was later dropped off by Layla at her home, and Layla reportedly went to pick up the others. Both Robert and Christopher confessed to what happened. They were planning to rob someone for marijuana while car hopping. Robert claimed one of the victims, the affidavit didn't say which one, was directing Layla to a location where they could commit burglaries. Layla was doing a U-turn, and that's when she was shot and killed while at the wheel. So who shot who? Well, according to the arrest affidavit, Taj Bruton shot and killed Layla and Michael. When that happened, Christopher Atkins took off running when her car hit the dumpster. When he returned to the car, Taj allegedly then told the 12-year-old there was someone in the trunk of the car. And as you heard from the sheriff in that press conference, Camille was there by choice for some reason. Christopher allegedly told police that he was forced to shoot Camille by Robert, who allegedly said if he didn't do it, Christopher's whole family would be killed. He shot her, but didn't think that she was dead, so Robert finished the job. According to the report, Christopher didn't even know Layla, Michael, or even Taj prior to that day. But the 3 of them took Layla's car to the pond. With now Taj behind the wheel after dumping her body, they took Layla's car to the lake, dumped Michael's body in a ditch, then drove her car to a pond, and that's where the car was discovered with Camille still in the trunk. Now we're still years after that horrible, horrible crime, and the 3 teens are a little bit older, but they're still teenagers. Taj Newton is now 18, Robert Robinson is now 19, and Christopher Atkins is now 14 years old. While Robert and Taj await trial for the murder, Christopher took a plea deal. He still faces anywhere between 40 years to life in prison, but because of his age, will be eligible for parole after 25 years. But there's a huge stipulation. Christopher has to testify against his other co-defendants when they go on trial, which is supposed to happen this July. There is so much to break
Right,
down
that
in
is
this
a good
case, so I'm
idea,
joined
though.
now by trial attorney and
Alright,
federal
Denise, don't make it
litigator
too
Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, thank you so much for joining me today. You know, before we get into the plea deal, let's talk about the case overall. We have 6 teenagers, 3 are dead, the other 3 are murder suspects, well, murder co-defendants now, but what's your reaction to this case, especially seeing and knowing just how vicious it was?
It's a horrible situation.
I'll
We
be
can't
doing
get
lives
around that.
and
We
not
have
uploads.
6
I probably
minors
should start making some
that,
short.
you know, the allegations are that they went out to rob houses together, and 3 of them end up dead. It's very sad, with the youngest at the time being only 12.
Yeah, 12 years old, such a young age. Like, I just remember being 12, and, you know, it's completely different, just my experience versus what this defendant's experience was. But what do you make of just authorities talking about, you know, all the
Good
robberies
idea,
that they
man.
were planning on committing that day, the burglaries that they were planning on doing? And in your opinion, is that something that you see often, maybe possibly particularly in Marion County? I know you're not from there, that area, but in that area specifically, what are your thoughts about that?
So what's come out is that at least the 3 that are, you know, have been charged with the crime were part of a gang. There are some allegations whether the other 3 were also part of a gang. So I think that you know, what's really concerning about this is because that they're all minors, but we have a 12-year-old. So was the 12-year-old coerced into doing this? What was the situation? I mean, even if we don't say he was coerced or threatened, we have a situation where he was pulled in by much older teens. I mean, the other teens are 16 and 17 years old. That's a huge age gap. So, you know, that's concerning as well. And he came forward. He
So you're gonna get
has
the Charles
you know,
White
now
treatment.
pled guilty. And he
It is
seems to
heartbreaking.
be, even
Look
at
how
the
little
young
he
age
is.
of now 14, trying to take responsibility for his participation in this gruesome crime.
And normally it seems like when we cover these types of cases, as far as young defendants allegedly committing very violent acts, especially murder like we have in this case, normally the victims are family members or relatives or someone kind of close to them. But from this case, it doesn't seem like all of them knew each other particularly that well, to the point that you could even really say that they were friends. It seems like some people knew others, but others didn't know the others, that type of thing. And it's a really kind of a tangled web. Just
sounds like, as the facts have unraveled, that you got a group of kids. It's not really organized. It's not really put together. I don't think there was any plan. Maybe it was a reaction that they thought somebody was going to snitch. But the bottom line is those other kids were part of this. So let's just say that they potentially snitched. They were part of what was going on based on what the allegations that we've heard. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it could have just been, you know, there was the discussion because it wasn't planned. It could have been
Oh, look at these. Look at them. They fucking children. Oh, everybody's children. And like I said, yo, I looked in Hamilton County when I did the video on it. Like, yo, the crime rate there is like there's no need for them to even been moving like this, living in that town that they was living in. Like, they weren't living in a high crime environment to be even reacting like this. Like, I blame drill music for these type of murders. Yo, these 15 years ago, this shit would have never happened in Hamilton County. It would not. Yeah, hey, I know. That don't mean they ain't kids. You know what I mean? This shit fucking sad, man. Nah, I don't blame the why these kids wasn't even born when the wire came out, bro. Yeah, man, wire came out 2000, whatever it was. It wasn't even born when the wire came out. This shit drill music related. No, it's not the culture. It's exploitation. You know what I mean? It's exploitation, yo. Like, yo, people blame the culture. But if the culture wasn't exploited the way it was, people wouldn't be able to spread. Exploitation is the reason why this shit is spreading like this. It's profitable. You know what I mean? People making money off of it. So they push it. Nah, not these kids. Yo, these kids young, bro. These kids listen to Julio Fulio and Young and East. Yeah, man. These kids listen to NBA Young Boy, man. That's what it is. That's gonna be a young boy. What are you talking about, Gold Tiger? You can't exploit yourself. It's a choice. Yo, who runs the media? You got, so this is what you got now. You got black sellouts, then you got mainstream media. Mainstream media and black sellouts is exploiting the black community for monetary gain. That has nothing to do. You're not exploiting yourself. They don't have the fucking the reach to exploit themselves. You know what I mean? When you're exploiting somebody, you're exploiting them to the world. You're exploiting it on a wide audience. The media does that. The hip hop industry does that. Yeah, like what the fuck is he talking about? He must be an outsider. That man must be an outsider. Somebody must have told him that and he ran with it. Yeah, man, he don't really know what's going on. Like, yo, a lot of times you need to fucking listen, man. Like that'd be the worst thing with some people. Like they come in this bitch with preconceived notions. The people don't choose no media. The fuck, do you know it's 3 companies that run 97% of the media? 3 companies. You gotta go watch that video I did on the rap industry and the music and prison industry, and see how it's connected, and see how the same people run both industries. That's what you need to watch. That video should have went viral, to be honest. That video got me demonetized at one point. You need to watch that shit, and you'll get a better understanding of what all us over here know. Like, nah, that shit way bigger than what you think. Way bigger. You know what I mean? Yeah, you already know. Christian. I mean, the media pushes propaganda. We watch videos on how the media pushed the crack epidemic on people. I mean, how the media pushed the HIV and AIDS epidemic on people. Like, that's what we watch over here. We don't just dibble and dab in nonsense. Like, we over this bitch really understanding what the fuck going on in the world. We watch videos on how the feds infiltrated the black community, how the feds infiltrated YouTube, how the feds infiltrated social media. Like, yeah, we watch that type shit. Like, yeah, we do this too, but we also dive into the other shit too, the shit that YouTube and the internet don't want you to talk about. You know what I mean? So you gotta dive into that portion to get a better understanding of what this is. You know what I mean? If you don't know about the other shit, you just gonna watch this and take it for what they tell you it is. You know what I mean? Like, oh, these kids are influenced. Like I said, the crime
frenzy, and we have minors.
The crime in Hamilton County isn't bad enough for these kids to have done what they did. You know what I mean? They're not living in an impoverished environment for these kids to have done what they did. These kids is influenced. These kids is influenced. Man. Yo, name a group of people that take more accountability than black people, Tiger. Name a group of people. Like, y'all just be saying the dumbest shit in the world. Name a group of people that takes more accountability than black people. I didn't say motherfucking. We just watched the motherfucking white girl, 2 of them, lie on the guy, get him 44 years in prison. And when he got released because they lied, they stood on it. The fuck is you talking about, man? Yo, stop coming over here with them dumbass talking points that you learned from somebody else. There is not a group of people in this world that's more accountable than black people. We gotta be accountable. The fuck? But yo, everything ain't our fault. You know, some things is out of our control. We don't run the media. We don't run the hip hop industry. We don't run that shit. It don't matter how many black faces you see. There's motherfuckers over top of them that dictate. That's just the reality of it. That's just facts. It can be proven. You know, facts can be proven. It's not something we're just making up. The crack epidemic can be proven. It's not something we're making up. We watch videos. Let me show you some videos. Let's go back to the 80s and 90s. Let's go back to the 80s and 90s. They was interviewing dope fiends. Like literally, and asking them about dope. They don't do that shit no more. What the fuck happened? Why they stop? It don't serve the agenda no more. Why did they stop interviewing dope fiends and asking them about dope on mainstream news?
Police tried to reduce the crime and violence in a West
1993.
Baltimore high-rise where drug dealers actually advertise their goods. A good evening to you. Housing Authority police spent this sunny Friday in dark stairwells and vacant apartments of the Lexington Terrace community. That 5-building complex has many vacant apartments that police say are havens for drug dealers and their lookouts. News Channel 2's Mark Vernarelli has this report.
Listen to how they popularize this. This is what you call popularize. This is not reporting the news. Yo, because certain things like this don't need to be broadcasted everywhere. So now people that's not moving like this can look at this and be like, oh shit, so that's how you do this, that, and the third. Like, yo, they know what they doing. Then if it's common knowledge, stop saying dumbass shit then, Tiger. Exactly. See, but back then, they didn't realize what was going on. Back then, they just looked at this shit. This is how they trick people into the 3 strikes bill. They let crime, they put drugs in the community, let crime go crazy. Now in the community, and then they ran campaigns, media campaigns, broadcasting it, making it look like, this shit gotta stop. Then now people are saying, yo, we need tougher bills on crime. All right, we got y'all. 3 strikes. You know what I mean? Devastated the black community. Yo, the black community didn't really get devastated until the fucking 80s, man. The 80s is what changed everything for black people. You go back to the 50s and the 60s, black people was thriving. 70s, shit started getting shaky. 80s, destroyed it. Come on, yo. Like, yo, this ain't no fucking... This shit can be proven, bro. The fuck is you talking about? Like, yo, people, yo, you're not taking accountability. How about that? For the people that don't understand that this is what happened in the black community, y'all are the people that's not taking accountability. And look, they could have did it to your community. Because I talked to a white guy that said, yo, he said a little dumbass joke. I don't even want to repeat it. It was goofy as a motherfucker. But if you put guns and drugs in the community, any community, Asian, Indian, Hispanic, white, and you strip it of resources, guess what, y'all? Crime is going to get out of control. Do it for 50 years. Do it for 50 years. Crime is going to get out of control. You can do it to any community. But people act like they don't know that, though. People just try to make it a black thing. Man, I don't know what hood you live in. People's getting hurt for a reason. What the fuck? What the hood you live in where people's getting hurt for no reason? You must don't be living in the hood, because the hoods I done been a part of, niggas is crossing the line. Motherfuckers getting hurt because it's tripping. And this the America way. It's the fuck you talk about. Crime is the American way, bro. You want to talk about the biggest criminals in the world? You won't see a black face on that bitch. So you just a dumbass. If you're a black man and you talk like that, you fucking stupid. The fuck you talking about? Like, y'all niggas be tripping me out, man. Y'all better stop listening. You probably Charleston White supporter, don't you? You like Charleston White? You think he says some real shit sometimes? Niggas is crazy, man. You probably want to go back to Africa too, huh? Hey, yo, you gotta tighten up, man. Yeah, you sound crazy, man. People, but everybody commit crime. Crime is the American way, yo. America is the biggest criminals in the world. The biggest criminals in the fucking world, yo. Yo, where you think the people learned it from? Where do you think people learn criminality from? America commits more crimes than any other country in the United States or in the United States. Any other continent, any other country on this earth. Crime is the American way, man. Senators stealing. Yeah, man, they taking money, they skimming off the top. What you talking about, nigga? This is America, nigga. You ain't commit crimes, you tripping. Everybody doing something illegal over this bitch. I don't give a fuck you fucking jaywalking. Nigga, everybody doing something illegal. It's America, bro. Talk that shit to me. You better talk that shit to a dumbass. You gotta be. You're very influenced if that's how you talking. You're very influenced if that's how you talking, yo. If you don't know the truth, yo, you are very influenced. You talk about your black people don't take accountability, you definitely influenced. That's a white man's talking point. The fuck is you talking about? You sound like a fucking Caucasian, bro. An ignorant one. Not a smart one, but an ignorant one.
There are 60 vacant apartments in the Lexington Terrace community. Today, Housing Authority police raided every one of them.
Right, everybody commits some motherfucking crime. What you talking about?
Not one violent
You better
drug.
start committing the crime, nigga. You gonna lose.
This community, especially the high-rise at 770 West Saratoga, is one of the city's most notorious drug trafficking areas.
Gunfire, residents being held up in the hallway.
Listen to this.
Searched.
Listen how they popularizing it. Let me go to my favorite one, y'all. Let me go. I gotta go. Y'all know which one I gotta go to, right? What the motherfucker said, a crackhead gotta commit 248 crimes a year. This is my go-to video. Whenever I gotta prove a point of what the fuck these people did. That man said a crackhead gotta commit 248 crimes a year. Defeat his dope habit. Like, yo, look at this shit that they was doing. Yo, this is diabolical, man. Shit, that look, kids with guns, 1985. Like, let's look at this shit, man. Like, look at these titles: kids with guns, 1985. They really went and interviewed kids. Let's listen what the kids got to say. These Baltimore kids, 1985.
For the inner city kid, when the weather gets warm, the neighborhood playground is the social and recreational spot. But lately, the playground has become the spot for violence.
You know of any guys who bring guns out to the playground? Yeah.
Listen to this shit, man.
Play with them, you know? And, I don't like being around them because it might go off and it might kill somebody.
Earlier this week, somebody killed Avon Freeman's friend, Craig Cromwell. So Avon knows how dangerous things have become, especially after dark, and especially after the wrong guys come around.
Why do they feel like they have to bring it out to the playground? To make them bad. To make them bad. You got a gun, they supposed to be bad. That's why I'm trying to get my game in and get close to home as possible, where I feel a little bit safe. These streets are getting hard here in Baltimore City.
Look at what they did, man. They did this everywhere. They didn't just do this in Baltimore. They did this in a lot of cities. It wasn't just Baltimore, man. Shorty just documented it. He got a hell of a channel over this bitch. Where the fuck the video at about the crack, about the when the man said crackhead gotta commit 248 crimes a year. They had motherfuckers running around using Clorox bleach to clean their fucking syringes. Meanwhile, that shit don't even work. I wonder how many people died listening to these motherfuckers, thinking they was getting high cleanly. Here you go. Here you go by video. Look at this shit, Tiger.
Much of Baltimore's crime problem is caused by drug addicts and drug dealers. Some officials estimate that 80% of personal property crime is drug-related.
Damn.
The Jack Bowden reports that in Baltimore City,
that?
law enforcement has been winning some major battles.
How the fuck they predict that? Like, that's a hell of a prediction without no facts to back it up. Like, all of this shit is new. Like, you can't even have facts until, like, 10 years down the line. Like, they making wild-ass predictions. 1984, crack pipe just hit. What crack hit? 1982? 1980? You got 2 years worth of stats, and you out this bitch predicting that 80% of violent crime is due to drugs. Get the fuck out of here.
Officials estimate that 80% of personal property crime is drug-related. The Jack Bowden reports that in Baltimore City, law enforcement has been winning some major battles in the war on drugs.
Drug dealers operate openly on many streets in Baltimore, often using what appears to be innocent handshakes to exchange drugs for money. But the dealers use many other techniques as well. This car full of people, secretly videotaped by us, is actually like a mobile drugstore, police say, with the roof used as a counter across which drugs and money change hands. Lots of drugs and lots of money. Undercover police, who also videotaped this operation, eventually moved in and shut it down. But similar drug transactions are repeated every day in every part of Baltimore. However, the arrest and conviction of drug dealers during the past year exceeded previous years. Police Commissioner Frank Battaglia established a special narcotics task force in 1981. Since then, the police have made 24,000 drug arrests, but almost half of those arrests were made last year alone.
They're making way more than that now.
By continuing on the drive with narcotic, we're reducing our crime. We'll come in again this year with about a 6% decrease.
The average heroin addict commits 248 crimes a year, working 5 days a week to support his or her habit.
Listen to that shit, yo. That is a fucking huge lie told on the news. Yo, that was a, yo, look at this. Yo, like, yo, people understand how big of a lie this is? Like, where did they come up with this shit? Well, he's going to explain how they came up with it, and it makes zero sense. Yo, but how can you just say something so blatantly false? Blatantly false. Intentionally false. Like, yo, this number is void of circumstance. It's void of everything. Like, yo, could none of them guys have jobs? They couldn't get family money from family members. Like, how is that the only option? Crime is the only option. Yo, that's a fucking lie, man. They can't do odd jobs. You know what I mean? They can't clean cars, sweep the block. They have to get it from they have to get the money from committing crime. They told this shit on the news, man. Lied to all the people that watched it. And listen to how he explains the number.
Heroin addict commits 248 crimes a year, working 5 days a week to support his or her habit.
But why not 7 days a week? Why stop it at 5? You know, most habits you need it's an everyday thing. So, like, why they just stop it at 5 days a week, yo? Like, if you got a habit, that's just a 7 day a week thing. Like, I don't think you take weekends off. You know what I mean? I think probably weekends are probably when you go harder, but they stopped. Like, well, this is bogus, man. But this is the play that they ran in the 80s and 90s on the black community. They ran this play on us. And people like Tiger believed it. He still believes it.
You take an individual with a 100-hour a day habit, he needs $36,000 a year in order to support that habit, which means he has to steal over $100,000 worth of goods.
Jesus Christ, yo. I swear, yo, if he is dead, somebody needs to dig his grave up and slap the shit out, yo. Like really, like, slap all the shit out, yo, for going on the news and pushing that bullshit ass propaganda. But that's what they did, yo. Like, talking about black people don't take accountability. Nigga, no, we keep that shit real, nigga. If you talk about we take accountability when accountability needs to be taken. But we also gonna call bullshit out when we see it, nigga. We're gonna put the fucking blame on the feet that deserves it. And everything that's going on in the black community ain't black people's fault. The fuck, nigga? Dumbass nigga. Be stupid. Listen, see us? That's because we got too many motherfucking charts to be. That's why yo Charles White is dangerous, yo. Cause that's the type of shit he pushes. If it really is right for real, bitch, the majority ain't for real. Come on, y'all. You go back to the 60s. Do I gotta go back to the 60s? Y'all want to see Baltimore in the 60s? Look at Baltimore in the 60s. What the fuck happened in 20 years? What the fuck happened in 20 years to transition Baltimore to where it is today? Let's go to the 60s. 90s. No, he got a video on this bitch from the 60s. Total different. Neighborhoods clean. Blocks look nice. Crime ain't out of control. Then comes the 80s. Everything changes. You feel me? 70s and 80s, shit start getting wild. What the fuck happened? Nigga, drugs happen, nigga. Violence happened. Guns happen. Niggas went from 38s to Mac 10s. Niggas went from 38s to 9s. Fuck the 9s come from? Motherfuckers had 32s and 22s. How the fuck the guns just get bigger? Come on, man. See, yo, they gotta talk that shit to somebody that don't know no better. One of them dumbass niggas that just believe everything the news tell them. But we free thinkers over here, man. What the fuck? I know you got a bill on the bitch of the 60s. $1985. I gotta hit you like, oh, you gotta get some 60s videos up there. 1982 to 2023. Ain't going back enough. I fucked it up. Hold on.
Then
1960s. Get the 60s, man. What happened in 20 years, man? 20 years ain't that long of a time, yo, for this change for this shit to transform the way it did.
If his perceptions are as remarkable as his abilities in war and peace,
Look at the 60s.
Washington may sense another contrast as he surveys the city. At the foot of Broadway, the music of a Polish polka fills the air.
Shit ain't rained down. Look at this shit.
West of that, odors of spaghetti and pizza rise from Little Italy.
Look at this shit. Look at the streets. Streets clear as a motherfucker.
Then comes Lithuanian Hall.
City thriving.
In a meadow. Isn't that a fitting emblem for our city of contrasts?
That bitch riding horses and shit.
Are Baltimore. Yet to see and know their origin is not enough. Let's forage in their habits, probing just a few to see what Baltimoreans do. For instance, though they love the Colts, they spend more time discussing the jolts of Baltimore's famous Orioles in bars and letters and editorials.
The fuck happened, man? The fuck happened? We changed. They started the war on drugs, man. A war in Nicaragua, stole the drugs and put it into the community, fucked the community up. And now, this is the result. What the fuck happened, man? Motherfucker can try to deny it, avoid it. Yeah, but those are the facts. You know what I mean? What's up? Those are the facts, man. Shit can't be denied, man. It's proven. You know what I mean? Shit is proven facts. But I ain't gonna go too deep into that, because that's what fucked my channel up. You feel me? You know, they're what you talking like this. They want you talking like Charleston White, talking about, man, black people are evil. And what the fuck they would say? And vengeful. Yeah, crazy as a motherfucker. Yeah, but shit, I appreciate everybody that tapped there, man. Last week to Lafayette, Louisiana, man. Yeah, but make sure y'all support the platform, man. Hit that like button, man. Share it live, man. And you know, we keep it all the way real. We ain't standing for no fuck shit. And that's just what it is, though, y'all. Like, we can't do it no other way. We didn't been on this path for too long to turn back now. You heard me? Like, it is what it is. We gonna live and die on this hill. You know what I mean? But make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. It's another day. Keep it G News.